Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Water. I believe this is episode 3 of season 2. I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen tonight because I know some things that are around that may or may not show up depending on what the players do. So it's going to be cool. And that's totally not ominous at all, I know. Before we jump into the story and everything, though, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and their characters a little bit. Starting with, let's start with Zan. Tell us a little bit about Titan Creek and yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Zan. I'm a professional DM and content creator for 5e, World of Darkness, Powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can find me Tuesday nights here, Tuesday mornings over on the Polished Cryptid channel, and Friday mornings over on Polished Cryptid channel as well. You can also find me on Twitter at InsanityTTRPG or on my website, insanitygaming.com. And I am playing a fairly new character named Titan Creek, or as he is introduced himself to most of the party, just TC. He is a kind of gruff, a gruff man who says that he used to work in government and then decided to pick up trash for a living, and was a crew member aboard the ship when it crashed. Still wearing the uniform of the crew.
Yeah. All right. Next, we'll hop up to Alex. Tell us a little bit about Susie and yourself.
Hello. Sorry, arguing with my mute button. Hello, I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist. You can find me around on Twitter and Twitch, and generally around Raven's server, where I'm bouncing around a lot. I play Susie, who is best described as unemotionally unstable 15-year-old with a knife.
That's fair.
Who's had to lose another parental figure. And, this kid's traumatized. Yeah, she's not getting out of this without trauma anymore.
That's fair. Also, I think is the epitome of that meme, the little GIF or video clip of the, what do you have there? A knife? No! I think that's, if we had to describe Susie in a GIF, it's that. Next, real quick, I'm going to mention the folks that aren't here right now. So Leland unfortunately wasn't able to make it this week, and will also be out next week. So I will be taking on the mantle of Lyle, and just trying to keep that character out of as much trouble as possible, because I really don't want to kill off his character while he's away. I'm sure it'll be fine. But anyways, definitely go check out his Twitter, Leopold the Just. He's a very cool person. Definitely should give him a follow if you're not doing so already. And then Attack Trick, or Pat, should be joining us later, probably sometime around the break. And he plays Owen, who's the chef, and may have been the reason that everybody was high and or vomiting last session. The characters. Yeah. Fun stuff. But also check out Pat on Twitter, because he's also awesome. And then next we've got Jay. Tell us a little bit about Tamsin and yourself.
Hi, I'm Jay, or Alien Jays. I'm a writer and a role player and a bunch of other junk. If you've been here before, you know the spiel. If you're not, just check me out on Twitter at Alien Jays. Who I'm playing tonight is Tamsin, who used to be an astrophysicist and is now de facto group leader and upset adult dealing with a 15-year-old with a knife. So, she's not only out of her depth, pun intended, but she's very much done with everything on this planet, including the people that keep showing up, the people that keep trying to betray her, the people that may betray her, the people that openly talk about potentially betraying her, and the one with the duck. So it's been a time for Tamsin, and she's a bit beyond her grasp.
I think paranoid was the word you were looking for there.
No, paranoid would be, thinking everyone's out to get her. She knows everyone's out to get her. There's a slight difference there. Also, I will add, instead of, what have you got there? A knife? No! The reaction, I think, from Tamsin is, oh, okay. Like that checks out. That's normal for her. If she doesn't have a knife, that I think would cause more trouble.
That's fair at this point, I think. All right.
Like, what have you got there? An alien artifact!
No! Anyways.
No?
That just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for everything that I do, from tabletop design, streaming, voice acting, art, a whole ton of stuff. You can see all of those things at my link tree, which is right there in chat. And then before we jump in, quick word about sponsors, which is also right there in chat. So we've got Grinding Coffee Company. You can use the code RAVEN at grindingcoffee.co to get 10% off your order, and it is really good, super fresh coffee. They roast it right before they ship it. And then there's Fundamental RPG, which pre-orders are available for that on coffee.com/raven/shop, like it says in the in chat. It is my own tabletop system that I've designed, the second edition of it, which is what Water runs on, along with some additional rules and things that have been built specifically for this game. But also Animus Absentus, the show that we run on Saturday evenings, also runs on that. So if this looks like fun and you'd like to try out the system, you can pre-order that in PDF or paperback. The paperback prices do include shipping, so you don't have to worry about paying extra later when it's released. And it's coming out end of February or early March, depending on a couple of factors with printing and things like that. So there's that. And then finally Intrepid, which is IRL adventuring gear. So it's the same site as Fundamental. You can find it all there. Just look for the keyword Intrepid instead of Fundamental. Yeah, it's outdoors, athletic, and casual wear with strong tabletop themes, as well as some accessories like water bottles and mouse pads and things like that. So very cool stuff there. And with all of that out of the way, we'll dive on in. Oh wait, I lied. One more thing. Just as a reminder, I have an advantage still, because I still haven't rolled since I got that. And then the cast currently has 11 d6 available and 0 crits. So quite a few. And then I have 1 d6 and 3 crits available, which is interesting. And I definitely won't use that for nefarious purposes. That being said, what do you all want to do? You've all woken up from your bug drug trips, and Tamsin, you're fine the next day. Like you might be feeling a little bit queasy, but you got the stuff out of your system because you threw up. So other than feeling a little queasy, you're fine.
Susie is going to grab some of the charcoal from last night's campfire. And she's going to basically grab something like a large dried leaf or something she can use. And she's going to basically start doing some basic map work of the area, like how to get to the fruit area, and like where the stream, which direction the stream goes in, and what things are where along her way, while taking the scanner with her.
Okay. Let's do. I don't have a roll for cartography.
I was going to ask if I could do a naturalist roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I think naturalist would work for this one, since it is a cleverness-based skill.
26.
26. Yeah. It's crude, but you've got a rough map of like your campsite area, where the cave is, where the pond is, as well as where you sort of beached the submarine, the mini sub.
Also, do I see any of those crickets?
No, you do not.
Also, yeah, she's basically going to scan everything new that she comes across, too.
Okay. Also, thank you, Michael, for that $4 donation. So much appreciated. And that gives me 2d6. Nice. All right, so that'll put me at 3d6. All right. So yeah, you don't see any of those crickets, but you're able to scan other things as you go. You found most of the plant life that's here. I don't think you've left anything unscanned for now, at least in this part of the island. There may be other things elsewhere that you'll come across that are new, but
Are there any crayfish in the stream?
No, there actually are no fish in the pond or the stream. The pond itself is actually super clear. You can see the bottom quite well. There's not really much in the way of like plant life in there either. It's just straight up water for the most part.
This is weird. She's gonna like scan the water like 5 or 6 times because this is not a natural formation.
Yeah, definitely seems a little off. Not like, something, no pun intended, but not like something fishy's going on, but it just seems like it's naturally occurring, but at the same time it's also like not quite naturally occurring. But yeah, the water scans come back.
It's like
normal.
natural landscape and natural style landscaping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that. Like it looks like maybe this was man-made with just stones and things like that. It's also, I wouldn't say perfectly round, but it is much more round than you would expect from a naturally occurring pond.
Susie,
yeah,
after grabbing some fruit, is booking her way back to tell Tamsin this.
Okay. And yes, y'all are making me hungry in chat because I love crawfish. Okay, but the water scan, it came back normal. It's mostly just like H2O and some various minerals, all of which are non-toxic. That's pretty much it. The only like plant matter that's in it seems to be from things that just like fall into it, rather than like algae or seaweed or anything like that growing inside of the pond.
There must be a filter or something, because over time, all that plant matter in there would have led to algae growing anyway, or at least suitable amounts of detritus. Because if there's absolutely nothing in the water to decompose things,
Yeah, it's certainly quite interesting.
So Susie's got something to be excited about as she runs back with fruit.
Okay. Where's I going with that? My train of thought is derailed quite easily this evening. I apologize. So you're just scanning the water primarily, right?
Yeah, she wants somebody here if she's going to start diving in it.
That's fair. And I can't remember if I
And she
described
promised,
this last...
she promised Tamsin that she wouldn't go and do stuff without checking in first.
Wow. Susie's actually... Dude, that's great. I can't remember if I mentioned last week or not, but the pond is not super deep either. It's like maybe 6 feet deep. Like at the center, and it gradually comes up to the edges. Almost like sort of like a crater, but it's not a crater, but like that shape. But it absolutely is not. Both in character and out of character, you can tell this. All right, so Susie runs over to Tamsin.
Tamsin is probably staring off at the ocean still.
Tamsin?
Sticking with her tablet.
Hi, I found something.
Okay, what did you find? And she looks like she's almost hungover, but not quite. She just looks.
So you know the creek, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fed from a pond.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have an obvious spring to it, and has nothing living in it. No algae, no natural plants. It's nearly perfectly spheroid.
The look on her eyes when she actually looks at Susie is kind of like she looks like she's missing something.
And it's probably part of an alien structure.
Okay.
I would like to take a closer look at it, but you told me not to go and do stuff without telling you first. So I'm telling you.
Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Well, good for you for listening to me tell you things. Grab maybe Lyle or TC with you.
The new guy? Okay.
Beggars can't be choosers, kid. Also, you have a knife.
He's got like the big ass spear.
Yeah, but you have a knife. And you're 15. Kid, you tamed fucking sharks.
He's 3 times my size.
The sharks were twice your length at best.
Yeah, but they were friendly.
And he's not?
I don't know him.
You didn't know that. Oh my fucking God.
Amazing.
Susie. Just go get Lyle or the other one. I've actually forgotten Pat's character's name.
Owen.
Owen, thank you. We always do this. We always forget Owen's name. Just go get Owen or Lyle then, and if you see TC, send him over here.
Okay. So Susie goes to see which of the two she can recruit to go and like hold one end of a rope and as a string while she goes down.
Okay.
And if she does see TC, she'll say Tamsin wanted to talk to him.
Okay. In that case, let's say Lyle then. So you're able to go up to Lyle and he's just like, yeah, I can hold a rope and make sure you don't drown and stuff.
She also
you're
is
better swimmer than I am, so
she's also got to kind of use Lyle as a test subject to make sure her map is good.
Okay. Let's see. Lyle's character sheet. Let's see how well Lyle can read a map. Yeah. Lyle could practically navigate the parts of the island that you've explored with this map with their eyes closed.
Sweet. Awesome.
So great use of an N20 there.
Oh my god. Tamsin's actually gonna like this thing that Susie made.
But yeah, Lyle will come with you, and then let's let's hop over to TC real quick. Does Titan go right over to where Tamsin is, or are you doing anything else before then?
Yeah, no, I think what Titan's doing before then is like digging back up the stones that he buried last night and putting them by where the fire will go tomorrow. Let's do the work now so we don't have to do it when it's cold. Go ahead and get all that stuff done. Sweep off the area as best you can, because you want to be able to see any bugs or anything. Don't want nothing crawling on you. And I think he's going to just kind of spin, because he doesn't have a scanner or any of the equipment that the rest of the folks have. So
yeah, unfortunately, we only got the one.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone through a few characters. It happens. He's just going to kind of like sit down and just I mean, I don't want to say eat dirt, but he's definitely going to taste some of it to see to see if he can identify any minerals or just figure out something about his surroundings.
Sure. That is a really unusual and really cool roll to make. Let's do a taste roll.
Oh boy. I should have had more taste. Yeah, right. No ranks in that. So I might need a d6 on this.
It's a 15.
I'd like to use a d6 if y'all are okay with that.
Yeah, go for it. Y'all have plenty right now.
That's a 20.
Okay, yeah. Not too bad. You are able to taste different things in the soil. Let's see, what all would you be able to taste with the soil that's right there? It tastes a bit like sand and clay mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
And you might pick up some of the vegetation as well. Is there anything specific that you're looking for?
Specifically, I'm looking for saltpeter.
For what, sorry?
A saltpeter.
What is that?
That is it's a nitrate, I believe. That's a primary chemical in gunpowder.
Okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Also, supposedly, keeps any little friends from standing to attention. Supposedly. So
good to know.
Yeah.
In real life, on Earth, where would you find something like that?
It's generally just it's a mineral you find in the ground.
Okay, but like any specific like geological formations that
I'm not sure.
Because that will determine whether it's here or elsewhere on the planet. Something like that can be found on the planet. I'm just not sure if it's here.
Yeah, so it looks like it comes from animal guano. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You don't taste it here, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's not in the soil. It's just not high enough concentration that you can taste.
Yeah, I probably would have walked a little bit closer to the water to do this. So I think he'd probably know that it's he would know more than I would about it. That it's from shit usually, so he probably would have walked down to like maybe the tide line or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, the closer you get to the tide line, the more it's going to taste like salt, which will probably overpower anything that you're trying to taste.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind.
But I will give you this. You have heard bird noises and insect noises. So any type of animal life, those sounds did seem to be coming from deeper into the island. So if you're looking for that, your best bet is probably deeper into the woods, the jungle stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think I think Susie might just find me to kind of picking up little pinches of dirt and just doing a little taste and take a pinch, walk away a little bit, take another pinch, just try to figure out what the fuck we're standing on.
Susie's gonna look at us like, yeah, if you see any of the alien structures, don't lick them. They taste real bad.
Thanks.
Tamsin wants to talk to you.
I'll look at the dirt under my fingernails and go, well, I was pretty busy here, but yeah, I think I can make time. And I'll
check my schedule real quick. Hang on. Yeah, 5:30, wander aimlessly. Yeah, 6:30, eat bugs. Yeah, sorry.
Yep. So yeah, I think he'll head over to where he
That was amazing.
believe Tamsin is.
Okay.
Tamsin's up on a cliff, kind of overlooking the bay, or the shore, I should say.
All right.
Then yeah, I'll head up there. So
I
looking for any bird's nest in the cliff face as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do a naturalist roll for that.
Naturalist. I'm fairly good at these.
19. Yeah, you spot like one or two. The nest that you find, like, if you're down by the water with that little sort of short cliff, there's like one nest in there that you find that belongs to a bird that looks more like, I think there was more like regular type birds on the other island. It looks like it's some cousin of that. So like the difference between, say, a mockingjay and a cardinal, like that much of a difference in the birds. And then you do find one of those eelfish nests like up in a tree, in the outskirts of the jungle.
Okay. I'm gonna clock all those where they were, because I'm gonna have to get something to come back and scrape the shit off of them. If we want to do anything. So I'm gonna make a little note of that on my way to Tamsin.
Yeah, you'll be able to find them pretty easily now that you know where they are. And then yeah, you're able to find Tamsin. No real issues there.
She looks up as you come up. TC, right?
That's me.
Just pop a squat real quick.
Sure. And he will do so. His jumper is still undone and tied around his waist.
Nice.
Still no shirt.
Tamsin is, she kind of gives a look as you sit down at that, like, so you said last night, you said you were a janitor, right? Essentially. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other skills, training, experiences, anything else that could benefit us? Like, I'm not saying, we'll vote you off if you're not useful. I just want to get a feel for what things you're good at.
I'm very comfortable in a survival situation. And I know interesting tidbits, like there's a few nests over here that have high quantities of nitrates at their base. And if there is 6 people here, we should be collecting saltpeter, nitrates, and various other chemicals to make our situation a little bit safer. It seems like there's some things we're not doing right now that we could do that would really impact for a better.
So, sorry, can you explain to me why nitrates are important in a survival situation? Because I'm an astrophysicist. I kind of failed chemical analysis.
They burn real fast.
Okay. Still not really seeing the application part of that.
It'll I've yet to be outside of the reaches of standard society and not been real happy to have something that could start a fire real fast on me.
Oh, okay. That makes
Also,
more sense now.
If you pack it tight enough, it burns real fast, and usually clears up any problems that's nearby.
So like an explosive.
Yeah, exactly, an explosive.
When you're working with that, can you make sure it's outside of the camp?
Certainly, yeah.
That's less of a distrust on you and more of a everything that can go wrong has gone wrong while we've been here.
It's understandable. It tends to smell like shit anyway, so that's...
Yeah, that would be nice to not have to smell with everything else we're smelling. So here's the rundown that we didn't really get to last night. We crashed. The first few of us that survived the crash, that is, managed to find the remains of the cryo section of the ship and some other bits and pieces. And then we started losing people. We lost quite a few people. Myself and Lyle are the only original survivors. Everyone else came out of cryostasis. It seems every time someone dies, someone else comes out from a pod. And we're not really sure why. We think it has something to do with the alien prisoners on this planet. I don't know if anyone's mentioned those to you. And I may have mentioned this, but we're at least 8 months, well, I guess 7 now, 7 and some, from the corporation even knowing that we're gone, that we're missing, that we didn't make it to our destination. And then another 8 to 12 for them to even find us on this desolate kind of middle of nowhere planet. Questions?
Sounds like we need some walls. What's the predation situation?
Susie's probably your better bet to ask that one. Let's say I haven't really been in the water much, and that is probably why I'm still alive. Predation in the water is heavy, let's say, and on the land, we don't know. We didn't see any on the island we were on before, and here we haven't seen anything besides the horrible bugs that we ingested last night.
And how long have y'all been on this island?
Barely a day and some.
So we're on fairly equal terms then.
Yeah. The reason we're here is because we were in a very large submarine. We were all traveling down, and then one of the people that had come out of cryostasis betrayed us and tried to kill one of us indirectly, but still, the intention was clear. And once we got to this island, after one of our other crewmates took it upon himself to detonate the sub in the jaws of the giant creature below, we hashed it out and he disappeared. We don't know if he's still on the island or if he got in the water again, because he's in league with the alien prisoners.
He should have broke his neck.
She kind of holds up her hands like, I'm an astrophysicist, and at best, I could probably strangle someone. Don't get me wrong, it was something that I had thought about, but I'm not going to devolve into a killer just yet. And quite frankly, I'm surprised Susie didn't stab the man in any part of him when she had the chance.
Well, it sounds like we need to focus on getting comfortable then.
Comfortable would be good, because I think we'll be here a while. And Raven, last night with Tamsin, she would have been studying the stars to figure out roughly how far they are from the cryopod and the other island. because she still has the kind of star charts that she had before.
Okay.
So could I make a roll based on what she's been studying this morning, correlating them to see roughly kind of how far we are?
No, it's okay. Given how much time Tamsin's put into that, I don't think you would really need to like roll for it.
Okay.
You know that you're the fridge, as we were calling it, is probably just a little bit beyond the horizon.
Okay.
So it's far, but not like
it's not unreachable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other island we were on.
Right now you're roughly like it's like roughly a straight line.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
she'll kind of show.
It's far, but you know where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll show TC that like kind of a roughed out map that she's making up of the places they've been in so far, what she had from the fridge area, and then the island, and then the current island they're on. She'll be like, this is where everything is. You know, did you? No, I can't remember. Zan, did TC tell us about where he came from? Like, coming from the fridge, or did he mention that?
I think he I think he would have mentioned something just like he woke up and wound up. He woke up and walked through a gate.
Right. Okay. So yeah, she'll say like, this is the fridge. This is where we used to live. This is where the tub was as well. That was our old kind of section of the ship that we managed to get onto. One of the few surviving pieces of the ship. And yeah, now we just have the micro sub, which we probably should go get. Now that I'm thinking about it, we should probably beach that. Let's go do that. And she like suddenly the realization is dawning on her, like, son of a bitch. We probably should have checked that last night. So she'll get up and be like, come with me. I'll need a hand. And did Susie take Lyle or Owen with her?
Lyle.
Okay. She'll shout for Owen as well.
I'm gonna say Owen has a real bad hangover and is just chilling since Pat's not here.
Yeah, she'll just shout to Owen like, Owen, we're gonna go get the sub. If you hear any noises, just scream. I guess. And then she'll go off to get down to the shore with and assume TC is following her. Because I just realized we don't have that.
I'm imagining the same sort of sensation when you like go to a parking lot and you're pretty sure you parked in this road, you don't see your car, and that panic like, where's my car? But yeah, you find the sub, it's still there.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Is it still powered?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say somebody remembered to like turn it off
before
you left.
That seems reasonable.
Okay, let's pause there.
Okay.
Let's hop back over to Susie and Lyle. So Susie, you're able to make it back to the pond, no problem whatsoever. Lyle is and left the radio going. Oh my god. Lyle's got Quackers with him, and he just sets Quackers down in the pond, and Quackers swims around and quacks a few times and that sort of thing. Yeah, what do you want to do?
It's Pat!
Yeah. Not that one. This one.
What a joyous day.
Perfect timing. We just gave you a hangover.
Welcome in.
So Susie has been, when not being busy, like when she's like been taking breaks and stuff, has had like this giant sheaf of like dried grass that she's just been constantly turning into string and rope any chance she gets. So she's got like a good like 20 feet of like not the biggest, like half inch rope.
Yeah.
It's good for
That's-
tying things together. It's not exactly going to hold your entire weight.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't try rock climbing with it, but it's pretty good for most things, I'd say, with that. And yeah, 20 feet's reasonable.
So she's
Given
going
how
to
much
have
time
one
it had.
slip knot around her wrist. And yeah, she's going to give the other end to, and she's like marked it too with the charcoal and a bit of fish and a bit of the fish oils and stuff.
Uh-huh.
In like foot increments too.
Okay, sure.
So we can like measure exactly like how far deep I went if I go somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so and she's going into the pond, scanner in hand, and basically feeling over the entire bottom of the pond and scanning for anything.
Okay, cool. So as you're going along, as you're feeling along the bottom of this pond, it feels rough and porous, almost like pumice, or some type of volcanic rock, but it doesn't look like a volcanic rock. And they're not exactly perfectly rectangular in shape, but they look like they might have been crudely hewn from some larger piece of rock and placed down like slabs. Now that you're like up close to it, if you scan one, the scanner doesn't know what it is.
Susie, take off her mask, stick
Okay.
out her tongue, and lick it to see if gives her the same unpleasant experience.
It tastes like rock, and that's about it.
Okay,
Maybe-
it's not the same stuff.
Maybe slightly salty, but in the way it's not salt. It's like you know how not baking soda, baking powder tastes kind of salty, but it's not actually salt.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. So a similar taste, but it's definitely not salt.
Oh, she's definitely gonna like map them out and like feel along the edges to see if there's like any sort of like hatches or anything.
Okay. Also, it would probably make your tongue tingle a little bit now that I think about it. Not like horribly unpleasantly, just noticeably. Maybe even like a little bit fizzy, but just for a second. But yeah, there's no hatches or anything in this pond.
Am I just swimming in soda water?
No. It's not soda water. But that would be amazing. So yeah, you're able to explore the entire bottom of the thing. There's no hatches or hidden doors or anything like that you're able to find. It's just mostly this weird kind of rock that are in big, like, let's say maybe 2 feet by 4 feet slabs of rock, mostly, give or take. It varies a bit. They're not perfectly carved. Again, it has that sort of like, it looks naturally occurring, but it's just a little bit too uniform to be.
She's also taking like a ton of pictures with her tablet and sending all of them to Tamsin. Just like,
Okay.
Look, alien artifacts.
Not saying it's ancient aliens.
Aliens. So yeah, Tamsin, you're getting constant like bloop 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 bloop.
She checks it, sees that it's Susie, sees that it's on an emergency, puts it on silent,
Nice.
and then carries on.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to do at this pond, Susie?
Honestly, she kind of wants to go exploring more, so she's going to see if she can talk Lyle into going exploring more and adding to her map.
Lyle probably has it sort of like, are you sure you want to go deeper into the island? I mean, somebody's got to look after quackers, and we should probably wait for everybody else.
All right. Fine. She at least makes sure that they drag some more fruit home with them.
Okay.
She's trying to be good. She's trying to be good. Just let's see how long this lasts.
Yeah, I'd say you're able to grab, let's call it 30 pieces of that fruit now between you and Lyle. And you can bring it back. And then, the measurements that you had on your rope confirm it's about 6 feet deep at the deepest part. And it's a relatively shallow incline up to the shore. So, meaning not that the water is shallow, but just like it's a gradual. That's what I was looking for. Gradual slope down. Also, you notice that the markings on the rope are starting to come off. Just from being in the water.
That's weird.
A little bit.
Can I scan the water again just to make sure it's just water? Like, what's its mineral content?
Sure. Let's do a engineering tech engineering roll.
Not an education roll?
No. Because you're going to have to configure the scanner to dig deeper.
Right. 18?
18.
Or do I need to roll a d6?
D6 would give you more information.
Y'all good with that? Alright, I'm going to roll an extra d6.
Unless you got like a 1, in which case maybe not. But...
No, I
right,
got a 6, so that's a 24.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So with a 24, yes, it is mostly just plain clean water. Whereas before it said water with some various mineral content. Gives you a little more detail this time. There's some, I don't know what minerals are usually in water, in spring water. Whatever those are normally that you expect to find, those are there in trace amounts.
Like
but there's
saltpeter?
also, hopefully not, because then that means there's crap in the water.
I mean, we're humans are like 8 ounces of saltpeter, man. We got a lot of it in us.
Listen, I don't drink water myself. We all know that fish pee in that.
There's no fish in this water, though. There's no fish in this water.
Reference secured. But at any rate, no, that particular one is not in here. I can say for certain. So other minerals that you would expect to be in there that do not come from organic things like animals or plants, and also trace amounts of that unknown element that you scanned before. So there are tiny trace amounts of that in here, but it's really, really small.
Sends the information off to Tamsin.
Okay.
Also
Tamsin, you
takes
get
a picture
information,
and
but it's on silent.
also takes a picture of the map and sends it to everybody.
Okay, so everybody gets a picture of the map.
Then she sends a message off to Tamsin saying, gone to map more of island, going along beach to north.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, Lyle is gonna stay at the camp, where it's safe. And so Owen, you're getting over your hangover now after everybody's been up for a little while and milling about. And Lyle comes back with a whole bunch of fruit, about 30 pieces. Is there anything that you would like to do at this moment?
In terms of stuff that we have at the camp now, is it just this fruit? Is that like our one resource at the moment?
Pretty much that and water,
Okay.
and you've got the what did we call it? The tankard plants.
Yeah, the Boris tankard.
Yeah.
Still recovering from my hangover. I'd probably try and inspect this fruit. Like, is it juicy? Like, what's it like? Tell me about this fruit.
Yeah, it's
Can I make a Gatorade out of it? Is the question.
Are there electrolytes in this alien fruit?
If I get the electrolytes, would this be a suitable vector for them?
I gotcha. So it's a bit like why are words so hard today?
I mean, to be fair, I
made
just asked you about making Gatorade, so I didn't set it up as like a simple question.
No, I know what this fruit is like in my head. It's just my ability to focus today is horrible. So words are also hard.
What's it look
But
like?
it's like it looks like if you were to take like peach jello and turn it into a jiggler that looks like a tiny football. With like one part of it being a little bit bigger around, so sort of pear-shaped, but more oblong.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, actually. Like I can picture it in my head.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect.
Sort
so
of like a
the-
droppy, sort of like a droppy sort of shape.
Yeah, like a bit like a teardrop. Yeah,
Bulb,
Hmm.
yeah, like bulb with. There you go.
perfect. Yeah, like a pear shape, except it's less, less of a stark round up to a short part. It's a little more tapered, I guess would be the word. And the skin is kind of it's squishy, like you can squeeze it almost like a stress ball. The skin is a bit thick and translucent, and then almost like a really thick film, more so than a skin, but it doesn't break easily. Like you can't just like squish it with your hand and it break apart. You've got to like tear it or cut it for it to really open, or bite it with your teeth. If you tried hard, you could probably get your fingernails in there and pull it open. But the inside is a lot like Jello. It's gelatinous and pretty firm. Tastes a bit like a very mild peach, like if you were to combine a peach and a cucumber flavor. And it does have seeds sort of scattered throughout it, but they're sort of like cucumber seeds. So like you can eat them and it not even realize that you're eating them. They're thin and easily chewed. There's not a lot of water content in it, so it's not like you could replace water intake with this fruit.
No.
But it's not like dry fruit either.
Sorry, my doorbell just rang, so I'm going to be right back.
Oh, no worries. Susie, could I get a naturalist roll from you while we're waiting for more mapping?
$20.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing a pretty good job of getting the immediate area. You've actually been able to kind of map out little trails, and kind of mark them probably like with your knife or something like that. So that it's actually much easier for everyone to navigate around this little corner of the island. And then yeah, hop back over to Owen. Yeah, that's what the fruit's like, and it's pretty tasty. It's not super satisfying in terms of like making you feel full.
I
But it's
think
good.
before I taste it, I'd ask Lyle to make sure that somebody scanned this.
Lyle just looks over at you and is like, yeah, I think Susie scanned it last night.
You think Susie scanned it, or Susie scanned it?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we did eat all of this last night, and we all got high. I'm not sure if this is part of it, but
Okay. I also pick out the seeds. For some reason, I distrust the seeds.
okay.
At the very least, we have them to plant more fruit.
Okay, yeah. You're able to pull them out. They're a little bit slimy on the outside, so they kind of slip through your fingers a little bit. You probably drop some on the ground, but you can have like a dozen or so seeds to set aside if you want.
Now, was this the only fruit you all saw out there? Did you see any other edible vegetation?
Yeah, this was the only like fruit that we saw. There's lots of vegetation. I don't know how edible it is, but this is only this is the only thing that looks like food to me, at least.
I feel like we're gonna need something else besides this. I feel like people will get tired of Jello fruit quickly, and that will reflect poorly on me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Probably get tired of anything if that's all we're eating. There's a ton of it. It grows fast, it seems, but but we should probably well, Susie was wanting to explore more of the island, so I mean we could do that.
So is that where Susie is now?
Yeah, I told her we should probably all do that together, so not to go too far, but I think she's just making trails and maps and stuff.
All right, so you told her we should all do this together. Have fun, peace, bye. And then came back here.
Well, I mean, it sounds bad when you say it that way, but kinda.
All right.
I told her, don't go too far into the island because we should do that part together. But I think she's just mapping like trails just right around here.
Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? If you felt if you felt the area was safe enough, I'm sure it's fine. With your security declaration there, I'm gonna go back the way that I hunted some stuff yesterday and see if I can't find anything new, any new flavors to bring to the table here.
Lyle just sort of nods to you.
With what stun gun, Owen?
There's rocks. Nature's stun gun.
Nature's stun gun.
Pokemon taught me anything.
Besides, I've still got my nerve gas gun.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Lyle just wishes you good luck, basically. With that, we'll hop on over back to Tamsin and TC. Yeah, you're able to secure the mini sub with no problem. The beach here is not too rocky. I mean, it's still mostly rocks, but they're not real sharp or anything like that. So you're able to beach it without like scraping it up or anything like that. And I imagine the mini sub probably had like a rope or something, like a tie, in there that you can kind of anchor it a bit to something on the island.
Okay. Yeah, Tams would want to beach it enough that it won't go out in the tide, and just enough that it's kind of visible from the cliffside.
Okay. Which reminds me, something that some of you may have actually been able to notice by now. You wouldn't have been able to notice it the day before, but anybody that wants to can roll a education or naturalist roll to see if you notice something.
I think I'm good at the education. Can we add anything to that?
Potentially. What would you want to add?
The only things I have related would be there's astrophysics, computers, and cartography. I'm fine if not. I just want to.
You could add like half of astrophysics.
Okay. And then like half-assing it.
It's not really related, but it's adjacent. So
Okay. This will be +1. So 28.
okay, so I think everyone but Owen has noticed that there hasn't been a tide on this island. Like the beach is still at the exact same water level. There was a tide on the other island.
Oh, I don't like any of this.
Are we on somebody's Brita filter?
Sounds that
Can
way.
that be our raid cry?
Yes,
Can you write that down in
please.
chat, please?
Oh my god, that's amazing. I love
So Tamsin's having a bit of a freak out once that revelation comes upon her. Because now she's putting the pieces together of what Susie was talking about earlier of this whole thing, and then with what Wilfred had said about there being something in the center of the island. There's a lot of gears clicking together, but she doesn't know what for yet, and she doesn't like that.
Remember last week too? This is out of character, but Tamsin also saw like a static point on sticking out of the water, and that it seemed further away after a little bit.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank
Nobody
you,
else
Raven.
noticed that, and Tamsin didn't mention that, but I wanted to make sure that you remembered.
Well, I
So
do
that's another
now.
That's another part of the puzzle Tamsin might have
Okay, cool.
figured out how to put together.
Okay. She won't mention it because this is just how Tamsin works.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll kind of point to TC, point it out to CC, like this is exactly what it looked like yesterday. This is what it looked like last night when I was looking at the stars. There's no tide.
So we're on a lake.
Can't be on a lake because we got here through the ocean.
Tunnels
Question.
exist.
Raven, could I roll naturalist or education or something to see if I could suss out how you could make, theoretically, a lake kind of current in the ocean enough that it could kind of like neutralize any tides coming in, kind of an opposite force?
Sure, and you can throw astrophysicist in on that. That
Okay,
would be education for sure.
Education.
This is more theoretical than survival based.
So that'll be 27.
27? I think you surmise that theoretically, it could be possible. However, the odds of it occurring naturally would be very
Astronomical.
remote. Astronomical, yeah. And to do so synthetically would require a massive amount of terraforming.
Right. Okay.
So unlikely, but theoretically
possible. Okay. Yeah, she'll tuck that away in her back pocket as she's wont to do. But she'll ask TC what his thoughts are.
On us being in the center of a lake.
I mean everything really. Just, what's your feel on this? Because you're a brand new set of eyes.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Tamsin. I am of the belief that if we look too far ahead, we don't see the stones under our feet. So, I think respectfully, that I'm not the one that will be orchestrating any plans to get off of here. I would like to not be on here, but if I can make this situation comfortable, then I'm okay with it for as long as it needs to be until we can leave. I tend to keep my reality firmly underfoot and not overhead. I just believe that those are different departments that we both fall under.
You're very poetic for a janitor.
Thank you.
I'm sure that was rude, but let's go see what the rest of the gang is up to. She's kind of like, she's like struggling over a word, like, what the fuck do I call these people? Because they're not my family. But we should also see about getting some extra water ready for the evening.
I think you're right. Now I don't mean to come in here and criticize how you all have been doing things.
You will.
But yes, I will. I through no oversight of any of yours, we're wasting materials.
Such as?
The fish skin from last night.
You'll have to take that up with Owen, I'm afraid.
Thank you for pointing me in the right direction.
If nothing else, she knows how to delegate.
Yeah. All right, so we'll say everybody makes their way back to camp. Susie, you're we'll say that you're coming through on your way.
Did I manage to find any of the birds' nests that I could map out?
Sure, you find one or two of the
Do I manage to get close enough to see if they have eggs?
You can certainly try. Let's do a might check to pull yourself up this tree, because it's kind of hard to climb. To see if you can take a peek. Nat 1.
I still got a 13 on a nat 1, but
Since I haven't really been rolling much for this one, because there's not really much in the way of NPCs, it's just mostly your environment, I'm going to roll to see how bad this nat 1 is, and I'm going to do that with advantage. Just so that advantage gets some use.
oh my god. I just
okay
had
with
the
that.
best idea for this though. Oh, it's gonna
Oh.
make Tamsin hurt.
Are you wanting to choose your potential injury?
Let's just say
all right.
if Susie dies, I have a plan.
God, if you die falling off a tree.
And trying to ask Tamsin for help.
No, just Scarlet Ibis all up in this thing. No, thank you.
Okay. So I'm going for lower numbers here, so it's a weird way of advantage, but I rolled a 14 and then I rolled a 2. So we're going with the 2. Which means, and for anybody who's never watched me do nat 1s before or gamed with me before, when I'm GMing and somebody rolls a nat 1, generally I will roll a d20, and if it is closer to 20, the nat 1's not that bad. If it's closer to 1, then it's pretty bad. This is a 2. So yeah, let's see here. 1 second, I'm just gonna make sure something is okay first. I'm gonna send you a message here. Just to make sure everybody's cool with what's happening. But yes, you are definitely going to fall off the tree, and in a bad way. Like, you got up to the top, you were just about to peek into the bird nest, and like the little branch that you were putting most of your weight on just snaps, and okay. And yeah, you hit I'm not going to go into too much detail for anybody that might be watching that might be sensitive to it, but you break some other branches and things on the way down, which go into places that you're not supposed to have, wood in. So you've got definitely some things that are going to require medical attention. With branches, definitely
Is she
breaking skin.
able to scream?
Yeah, you'd be able to scream. Definitely, probably some things broken, and some branches sticking out of places while you're on the ground. How much health do you have?
Sorry, I didn't clear it up after the last time, so 33, I guess.
33. Okay, because you're not gonna.
Yeah,
die
because
from this.
we took damage on the way out
Yeah.
of the.
So let's call that 12 damage. I'm just making sure I didn't roll so high that it would actually kill you, because this shouldn't kill you from an @1. It's just bad. So yeah, you need medical attention.
Yeah. How far away is her tablet from her when she fell? She gonna have to crawl for it?
No, I'd say it's like it's semi-attached to your suit. So I think you've got it within reach.
She's sending out texts to everyone.
Group chat,
Hell,
FYI.
it's like
medical attention needed.
It's just like all caps, and it's not spelt right, and it's just HLP.
Oh no.
HRT.
Oh. I was gonna say, who answers first? Because Tamsin's is still on silent from earlier.
Yeah.
I don't have
HLP,
one.
HRT.
Oh shit! Yeah, you don't have one.
They found a helipad with a heart shape on it. Maybe that must be what that means, right? So yeah, Tams is on silent. TC, yeah, I don't think you have one. You're right. Owen,
Yeah.
do you see this?
I mean, I assume I do.
do you let me put it this way, do you think Owen would know what that means?
I mean, he's not the smartest, but I feel like he would. Actually, wait, what? So cleverness is apparently my highest stat. Ignore what I said.
You're
Maybe
so
it's-
dumb you forgot you were clever.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be great on Chopped.
Your cleverness is just very specialized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, let's say Owen's able to figure out at least the HLP part. Probably means help.
Mm-hmm.
Does Owen do anything about it, though, is the question.
I mean, yeah, he does. I mean, part of him wants to. Do our group chats have the little thing where it tells you who's seen the message? Because I'm gonna go help, but I also want to know when Lyle has read it.
I'm gonna say
she's somewhere
probably.
safe. She's somewhere safe. It's fine.
Probably doesn't have the who's read what type deal. It's probably just like it just shows up with your name next to it when you say something. That's about it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I will. Shit, I think I'll just have to fucking run back to where Lyle was so he could direct me to the direction he came from.
I mean, Lyle's just at camp taking care of quackers, so he's right there.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm gonna bounce back to camp and then go along their path instead of just wandering aimlessly in the jungle.
Oh, gotcha. That's right.
To be
'Cause you were gonna go hunting.
Yeah, to be well, she's exploring the island. I guess I'll just head in the direction of the island and find her.
Gotcha. Yeah, Lyle's able to point you in the right direction, and he'll come along. I'm gonna say you probably alert him to the fact that there's a message.
Yes.
Okay.
I spend most of the. I don't spend the whole trip giving him shit over it. I act a little bit more mature than that. I just make I make a cutting remark on the way out and then let it simmer the whole trip.
All right. So in that case, Tamsin and TC, when you get back to camp, it's empty. Nobody's there.
Tamsin's gonna check her tablet.
You have 25 missed messages.
Scroll. Pictures. She'll show it to TC. Like, do you recognize? Is that an acronym?
It's not necessarily code that I'm familiar with, but I think it probably requires investigation. Does kind of look like help hurt.
Tamsin's gonna send back a message like, "Are you okay, Susie? Where are you?" etc.
All of that gets sent back looks like some Susie in a good bit of delirium because she now is like down half of her hit points.
She's in shock, absolutely.
Smacking at the screen, trying to reply.
Yeah.
It shows you a picture of a bloody hand on the tablet.
Oh no, you
from
turned
the tablet's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's trying to show you where she is.
Oh, okay.
But you get like the blood smeared hand as it tries to clear the tablet
Oh my god,
view.
it's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
This was the last
okay.
image they took.
Also, Susie, at this point, probably do need a physical fortitude check just to make sure that you stay conscious.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Tamsin's she's gonna have the first worry for Susie in a very long while that she's experienced, and then she's gonna be like, "We should go get her."
Tamsin, can you keep up?
I mean, I should be able to. That's what do you say?
24.
What? Just because I'm old and I look at the stars, I can't run?
I mean, well, you and TC aren't that far off as far as age. I think TC's a little bit younger. Gonna go. No, I'm good at this kind of thing. Actually, could you boil some water and find some small, strong branches?
Yeah, I can do that.
Which direction?
She'll kind of gesture vaguely, roughly towards where the stream is, because she assumes that's where Susie went.
Yeah, I think Lyle will point in the general direction Susie went, because Lyle probably saw her last.
Yeah, she went along the northern cliff.
So did Lyle not come with me?
That's what I was wondering.
No.
Yeah.
Lyle is coming with you.
Okay.
But I was saying Lyle pointed Owen. Sorry, in that general direction.
Okay.
Not everybody else. Sorry.
Gotcha. So Tamsin will point in the general direction of the stream and say like, just here, take my tablet, message Owen and Lyle and see where they are, see if they know what's going on with Susie.
Okay.
Shout if there's any problems. I can probably hear you.
Will do. Thank you for doing the preparation work, and I'm gonna fucking bolt.
Okay.
Let me get a nimbleness roll from TC, a hearing roll from Owen, and let's do a. Oddly enough, let's do might. Yeah, let's do a might roll from Susie. 34. Okay.
30.
30.
Could I argue physical fortitude instead of nimbleness, since I'm just trying to fucking keep a pace and not like actively like hopping around and stuff?
I was gonna say nimbleness just because you're running through a jungle, so you're having to like not slip and trip and things like that.
Okay, I do have the trained bonus advantage. I do have trained, so I've got 6 action points to use. I'm willing to burn them to get there.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So that's 10's my nimbleness.
Okay, we'll say that you, you blow through your sort of stamina, so you're winded when you get there, but you are able to just power through sliding and tripping occasionally, and just through like sheer force of will, get there quickly. And Owen, you're able to hear Susie yelling, and narrow in on where she is. So TC, you're going toward the pond, right? So you get to the pond real quick, and nobody's there, but you're able to hear off. So if the camp is say south, and you've gone east towards the pond, to the northwest, you hear Susie and Owen are probably calling back and forth. I think you're muted.
Yeah, then I will head off in that direction.
Okay. You get there pretty quick. Again, you're pretty winded by the time you get there, but eventually, Owen, you probably come across Susie first, and then maybe a minute or two later, TC shows up. And yeah, Susie's looking pretty rough. Definitely got some punctures from branches, and probably
Yeah,
a broken
she's starting to go into shock, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check her eyes, see if the pupils are dilated, and see if she can follow my finger.
Sure, do a medicine roll. 19. Susie's not showing any like obvious signs of like a concussion or anything like that, but is definitely probably starting to go into shock.
Yeah, I look. I know this sucks. We got to get you up. We've got to go. Owen, help me. Take the left side.
Susie is just like trying to do her best to like hold things still because she can like feel the pieces of things that are sticking out of her, and she's like trying to apply pressure so they don't bleed out.
Okay.
And like gritting her teeth and swearing in a few languages none of you understand.
It's understandable.
Susie, where's your knife?
She points down at her leg where it is in a sheath on her thigh.
I am going to pull the knife and cut off one of my sleeves to the jumper and kind of rig up a sling real quick.
Okay. I'm not even going to make you roll for that. Pretty simple to do. I do need a might roll though from Owen and TC to carry Susie gently. Oh no. Oh no.
We have D6s.
You do have D6s.
Yeah.
I would
gonna use the
highly
D6.
recommend using them.
Can I kind of like direct Lyle to pick up any of Susie's like shit that kind of fell onto the ground as she fell?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lyle's with you. Lyle can help.
And not to be that guy, but that stasis rifle that Susie took off of me when I was paralyzed. Do I see that laying on the ground?
Yep, go for it. Go for it.
Roll sight.
Susie will consider that fair and probably continue it.
Yeah, you spot it. You're able to grab that.
I will grab that, and then I will help carry Susie.
Okay. Yeah, Lyle
Priority.
grabs any items that might have fallen aside from the stasis
Probably-
rifle.
Probably like her map, her rope, her writing utensils, because she's like been picking up things that leave like different colored marks too, like different rocks that leave like different colors, so she can like differentiate things on the map. She's also picked up any like basically plants that while don't offer any like nutritional benefit, add flavor benefit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Lyle picks up all that stuff and tries to help carry you. None of our party here did particularly well in trying to carry you gently, so I'm gonna need another physical fortitude from Susie, because you're kind of being half dragged, half carried.
21.
Um,
Susie's not doing good.
Yeah, it doesn't like hurt you necessarily, but I think Susie's probably unconscious now.
Yeah, she just kind of just does the
Yeah,
sort of thing.
brain's just like, this hurts really bad. We're gonna take a little nap now. kind of a deal. But eventually you're able to get Susie back to camp, where Tamsin is, and yes, Susie's not looking great and is currently unconscious. And I think right there we'll take a break. Sorry. What were you gonna say, Jay?
Oh no, I was just saying, oh good.
Oh, okay. I think we'll take a break there. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break. Go hydrate, stretch your legs, all that good stuff, and come on back because we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Just real quick, before we
Yeah.
would have left, after Lyle grabbed everything, I would have sent him back ahead of us to let Tamsin know what to expect when we got there in X amount of time.
Okay. Then yeah, definitely Susie's unconscious, because that means Lyle was not helping to carry. So, yeah. Okay. We'll be right back. we're back. There we go. Took it a second to load in the scene. We're back, and Susie is unconscious and possibly bleeding internally, and Lyle has just arrived moments before to alert Tamsin that this is happening. So everybody's back at camp. What do you do?
So Tamsin was boiling water. She was also frantically looking up on her own pad how to, basic medical things. Because she's, she knows how to take care of herself if there's a small injury, but she has no idea what's happened to Susie.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Also, thank you, Michael, for those 2 extra d6 for me, which puts me at 5. So quite the change. We've got 7 d6 for the cast and 5 d6 for me, and I've still got 3 crits that I'm sitting on too.
Concern.
And thank you so much, Michael. I very much appreciate the donation.
But yeah, that's what Tamsin's doing. She's looking up how to heal everything from a broken leg to a stomach wound.
Okay. Given that you're doing that prep, I'll let you take advantage on a medicine roll in this situation.
You might come out of it alive.
But yeah, everybody's present. Susie is unconscious. Who's doing what?
I'm going to point at Lyle and tell him, go get a piece of softwood or leather. I'm going to point at Owen, say, here, and I'm going to cut the other sleeve of my my work uniform off. Say, go dip this in, put this in the water, leave it there for 20 seconds, and bring it back. And to Tamsin and go, well, yeah, you want to lend a hand? This is gonna hurt.
Yeah, okay. Just for my reference, what exactly was the injury?
So there are puncture wounds from branches being just stuck in places. Out of character, there's no organs damaged.
Okay.
It's
I couldn't remember
superficial.
exactly what look at was.
And she does have a broken arm.
Okay.
I might be picturing more than I guess what was happening. Are there still active branches in her?
That's what I was
Yes.
wondering. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, there.
Okay. That's what I thought.
There's
but
at
similar
least
to-
1 or 2 that went through.
Yeah, it's bad, but they missed any vital organs. So healing will be significantly faster than if you had to perform surgery right now.
Which we're totally equipped to do.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
I believe in us.
Yeah, Tamsin's gonna help.
Okay. Lyle comes back with a big chunk of a Boris tankard plant because it's like a melon rind type consistency, and hands it to was it TC that asked for that?
Mhm.
Yeah. Hands it to you.
I'm gonna hand it to Susie, and if she's unconscious, I'll put it between her teeth.
Yeah. Susie's still unconscious. So okay. That will take care of that.
When Lyle comes back, I'm gonna tell him to get the fish skins from last night and drop them in the water. Drop them in the boiling water, because
Okay.
we're gonna need something to plug wounds. Yeah, I guess I'll just get about to getting about it.
Okay.
Start with the arm and work from there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll let's say there are there's 2 branches sticking out of places and 1 broken arm. So you've got 3 injuries in total to treat. You're starting with the arm. So let's do a medicine roll for that first.
Do you want both of us to roll or just Sam?
Entirely up to you. If Tamsin wants to assist right now, you could assist with advantage.
Yeah, I think Tamsin's fine not helping with the she'll help with the rest of it, but I think the broken arm is less of her concern. She's more concerned about the wounds than broken arm.
Yeah. 20. Yeah, you're able to make like a splint for it, and set it just fine. It wasn't a bad break or anything like that. So that's taken care of. And now you've got the 2 other injuries left.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to Tamsin and go, I will need your help with this one.
Mm-hmm. Are you pulling, or am
I'll
I?
pull.
Okay.
And
So
let's
she'll-
say for locations, again, without getting into too much detail, because I know some people might be sensitive to it, but let's say there's one in the shoulder, like the left shoulder, same arm that's broken, and then like the right side, like stomach level
Gotcha.
side.
If if Owen gets back around this point, I went and got you told me to put a handkerchief or a rag, your sleeve in the boiling water and come back with it.
Yeah.
I would have, while I was doing that, I would have thrown some of my sharper cooking instruments in the boiling water in case we need something sharp and sterile. But I'd come back with that and wait, are you about to, are you pulling this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, before you do, so maybe she doesn't wake up from the pain of that, I'm gonna pull out. I don't know how much of this I've used, but I have written in my inventory 6 ounces of numbing leech mucus.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I used some of it on the cricket last week, but I assume that wasn't that much.
No, let's say to do the job here, you'll need about half of that. So
Okay. Yeah, so I would try and I guess with like I don't know how I'm applying this yet, but I'm trying to apply it around where the 2 objects are impaled.
Well, I was gonna say we've got those big ass like elephant ear leaves. Tamsin would just like tear you off a strip of that and like wind it around your fingers.
So I don't have to just be holding it.
Yeah, exactly. So you can just be like,
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll try and essentially, like a local anesthetic, numb around where these are going to get pulled out.
Perfect. Yeah, it works. So Susie's still unconscious, but the pain won't bring you out of consciousness at a moment that you really don't want to be conscious.
we're remarkably competent.
Yeah, this is going surprisingly well. But I do need a medicine roll to remove. That'll be 2 medicine rolls to remove them, and then 2 medicine rolls to bandage them.
Yeah, I can take care of the bandaging if you want to take care of the pulling. Whew.
20.
Ooh.
Just nice. You know what? With a nat 20 and a 40, yeah, you pull both of them out. You don't have to make a second roll.
Just like,
yeah, you're able to get them both out. Done very well. There's
oh, wow.
Nice.
The exact same roll.
Yeah, you're able to clean out the wounds, get any foreign objects or debris out of the wounds, patch them up and all that. And
Can we say that we splashed a little salt water on them before we wrapped them?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Susie's in a really good spot to heal without infection, as long as you keep changing the bandages regularly and whatnot. We'll say Susie is stabilized at this point and regains, let's say, you lost 12 health, right? Let's say you get healed back for 6.
Well.
And you can be conscious now if you would like.
So
Susie starts to wake up and is just like, she's laying there, she's in pain, and other places are weirdly not in pain, and it's a different sky.
Tamsin is giving Lyle the gears because Lyle was supposed to be with Susie.
Okay.
And why wasn't he? Like it's not a matter, it's more like a teacher being like, why wasn't your homework done, rather than like, why weren't you with my daughter? It's literally
Yeah.
just like, I told her to get someone, she said she was going to get someone, last I heard it was you, so where were you?
Yeah, and Lyle just does the Lyle voice.
Yeah.
The sort of nervous voice, but explains, that he was with her at the pond, and then they came
Mhm.
back, and then she said she was just gonna, map out some trails, and he said, all right, don't go too far, and that was
And
it.
Tamsin's
She wasn't even that far away.
No.
Tamsin's just gonna be like, we can't lose sight of each other anymore. Like I don't care what's happening. Be within eyesight of each other, because this could have been so much worse. And she'll look over at Susie again, like, are Susie's eyes open?
Yeah, but she's also looking at the sky like it's very confusing.
Right. Tamsin will kneel down and kind of like move her head in the way of the sky, just like getting kind of above it, like, hey kid, you okay?
I'm gonna eat that bird.
She looks like, there's no bird, Susie.
It was a bird. I was gonna get eggs out of his nest so people would be happy again.
Okay, well, don't worry about the bird for now. Whatever the bird you're talking about. What? You're safe. You're bandaged up.
Oh, it's
Oh.
good.
How do you feel?
My arm hurts.
Mm-hmm. Tamsin's trying her best not to talk about any of it. You can tell that she's trying to avoid it.
Susie's like,
Yeah.
my stomach feels weird.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna feel weird for a bit. Yeah.
It's like I got no stomach.
Yeah. She'll look at Owen like, oh, do you want to like come in here and do your like tell her what happened?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. No, with the why she can't feel the.
Can we chop down that tree?
Sure.
It's a bad tree.
Sure. Where did you find her?
On the ground. By a tree.
Right. Good. I'm glad we've established that. How far was she?
Well, I mean, parts of the tree were in her, so I guess depending on your perspective.
Wait, I got a tree in me?
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, we took the bits out.
Oh, it's good. I'm not a tree.
No, I'm sorry.
You can't graft like that.
I'm sorry. We had to take the tree. We couldn't save your tree. You've
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Tree.
It's a jackass. Then she spoke something rude in Russian.
Perfect.
I didn't see a bird.
Boris would be
but-
proud.
You would.
The nest in the tree got eggs. And then she tries to get up.
How many
Let's do it.
hands do you think went down on that? Like,
Just for kicks and giggles, Susie, physical fortitude.
oh boy.
I was gonna say if this is a might contest, I think Susie's getting.
Oh, Susie's gonna win. Yeah. She'll need 3 of us to keep her down.
11.
Yeah, no, you try to get up, and immediately your body's like, nope.
It's just like, oof. Like, that's she's probably sitting up at least now.
Yeah,
like
like you're probably,
slouched
like,
up on her elbows. Yeah.
maybe propped up against a different tree,
A
It's like,
non-birdie tree.
a kind
I
tree.
like this. I like this tree. It's a good tree.
Tamsin's gonna look at TC for help.
I'm glad you're awake. you're not gonna want to move for a little while, and then you're gonna want to move, and we can't let you move for a little while after that.
But I gotta map the island.
Yeah, that's great. You can definitely do that. We're not gonna stop you in about 3 weeks.
No, I gotta map the island now.
That's funny.
Susie, I can map the island.
But you don't like going out.
I don't like going in the water. I'm fine on the ground.
Don't trust the trees.
Okay.
Oh, and the pond was salty. But not salty.
What? She looks around like, what pond?
I sent you data! Like you asked.
I think Lyle would probably chime in here to help out and be like, "Oh yeah, we went and checked out the pond, and Susie was dove into the pond and was looking at the bottom of it, and I think she licked one of the rocks in there."
Oh my god, kid, Susie, we can't.
I wanted to see if it's the same stuff.
Don't just lick things.
She
But
put all the info in there.
I gave you all the. It's what let me know to check for minerals. And I found something.
Covered in bacteria and other creatures that we don't even know anything about. And this kid's just fucking.
No. The water has very little bacteria in it. We're looking for drinking. It's weird. Nothing living in it.
Tamsin's just gonna sit back and start looking.
It's
through
like
the
a
cage.
pool. It's like a pool.
I don't think she got rocked hard enough to really lose what she was doing beforehand. She's probably there's probably at least a chunk of truth in that. If it's got a weird taste and it's got no life, there's probably some kind of mineral in it.
And Tamsin, you probably, if you read through the stuff that Susie sent you, you probably have approximately the same amount of knowledge that Susie did from the experience.
Okay.
Just as a heads up.
Susie, how much of a map did you make?
I made a good map.
Right. Where is it?
Lyle will pull it up.
She's like,
Yeah,
she's trying
I
to
picked
look
it
for
back
her
up.
stuff.
I picked it back up. I used it to get to the pond, and it's a good map.
Okay. Tamsin's gonna take a picture of it and then start making a digital
And
copy.
she's like, I sent you pictures
You did.
of the map.
Mm-hmm.
This one's got like a few more things. There's a few more things to the north and like actual like bird's nest like mapped out and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tamsin's gonna make like a fully digital version of it to sync with the rest of us, just so we can all have a copy of it.
Perfect. All right. So everybody's got a map now. Sans Titan
Right.
Creek, which I'm sure could probably give TC like the physical copy at least.
Mm-hmm.
Susie is stabilized. What do the rest of you want to do? And Lyle can actually stay with Susie now. What do the rest of you want to do right now?
Well, since Tamsin was going to start getting water before this happened, I think that's what she'll go back to do once she knows that Susie's okay.
Okay.
Like,
are you going to just like
are you
the?
all right, kid? Do you need anything?
I want a hug.
She kind of like she doesn't
Oh,
look.
and then she doesn't look at Tamsin. She looks at Owen. Oh,
Yeah.
Can I have a hug?
Yeah.
Nose good. Nose good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is gonna be even more awkward than the first hug. Since
Yep.
she's propped up at like some weird angle to, I assume prevent like fucking up her bandages. But yeah,
Yeah.
And she's covered in blood.
Yeah. I mean, I was covered in blood the first time, so that's fine.
That's true. That's very true. It's fucking crew.
Oh my god. So Tamsin, are you getting water at the stream or are you going up to the pond?
The stream, because that's where we've been getting it before.
Okay.
So she'll make sure there's enough water, and she'll get Lyle to help with that because there's a lot of carrying to be done.
Okay.
But yeah, bring it back, start boiling it to make sure it's safe, and then just enough that everyone can drink hearty tonight. 'Cause we're
Okay.
probably still recovering from all the nastiness of last night.
Let me get a gut feeling check from Tamsin specifically
Good.
Oh,
for
goody.
something.
No. She got nothing. There's no guts.
You feel like you've forgotten something important, but you have no clue what it is. It's probably going to bug you the rest of the day.
Probably. Yeah. She'll keep looking back at her tablet, like fucking like piecing through everything that's on there right now. Like, I know it's got to be in here somewhere. I always write it down. I always write things down.
Yeah. Like you feel like maybe you there was something that you were going to look into, but it's just you don't remember what it was.
Head
Yeah.
empty, no thoughts.
Yeah. But yeah, you're able to get enough water from the stream. There's plenty there for everyone to drink.
Okay.
Which again is the with boiling it is the what is it called? I think purified water is what it was.
I think that's right.
Either that or the filtered water. I think both of those are like a 0 sick chance, I think. Or if it is, it's just like a 1. So either way, if it does say you got sick off of it, ignore that because this water will not make you sick.
Okay. Yeah, that's all Tamsin's doing kind of for the rest of till the evening times, let's say.
Okay. TC and Owen then. Is there anything else that you want to do? Because it's it's still like late morning.
Well, I mean, this is probably pretty dumb, but I was out looking for other foods and flavors to add to things. And I've got a map now that's got a bunch of eggs on it.
She was also like marking off like the where the tankered fruit where the Boris tankers are, the fruits, and like some of the herbs and stuff that she was finding.
Yeah.
So you've actually got like a really good map for foraging and stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the things that would be smart to get, like those herbs, but I also kind of want to get some of these eggs.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do a naturalist roll just to forage for those.
I'll be going with him.
Okay.
Oh, I immediately forgot Tamsin's advice of staying within eye range of
You sure did.
Whoa!
Good thing Tamsin wasn't there.
because Tamsin went off on her own.
No, Tamsin went out with Lyle.
Oh, Lyle's with you. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good thing what yours wasn't there to give you shit.
Susie is alone in camp.
I thought Lyle was staying with Susie.
That's what I thought
Susie's
too.
looking at
Susie's
all
got
the eggs.
crackers.
I was gonna say
Susie-
the stream isn't
Susie's-
far from camp.
No,
We're,
it's
like,
like right
within
next to it.
Yeah.
Susie's kind of like watching you all leave her right after you went on the rant about never leaving out of each other's eyesight. She's just like, what the actual fuck, adults?
Tamsin's
If,
like looking back at Susie every time she leaves, like we're not going far. We're just getting
Yeah.
water. Like last
If you're
time.
not within eyesight, you're within earshot. So yeah, you're fine.
You can hear screams.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyways, with a 15, you get to the general area where you're pretty sure some of those nests are, but you're not finding them. TC, do you want to
Can I?
assist?
Again, this may be foolhardy, but can I not get back to the tree that Susie fell from?
Sure. If that's the tree you want to go for.
I mean, I know there's eggs in it.
Sure. Still get that roll from TC to see if you can find other ones, but sure. If Owen wants to go to that specific tree, you can get there, no problem. And TC finds a couple other nests here and there. They do have some eggs in them, and they are kind of like snake eggs, so the shell is leathery. But it does have some weight to it.
Usually how many are there in a clutch?
You find, let's see, in nest 1 you find 4, and in nest 2 you find 2.
I will take 1 from the first nest, and that's all.
Okay.
I will clean up. I'll take some leaves though, and I will scrape up any organic detritus that might be near the nest that I find.
Sure. You find a couple of splotches of stuff that you're able to scrape up onto some leaves.
Why are we only taking one of the eggs?
1, because we don't know if this is poisonous or not. It's not going to do us any good to take 5 of something that's going to kill us with 1. 2, we want to make sure there's an amount left for the population to continue to thrive. Never leave less than 3.
Zan, Michael has very kindly used guild coins to gift you an advantage on your next roll.
Thank you so much, Michael Wayne. That's so nice. Yeah.
Okay,
But,
so
yeah, never. If there's only 2 eggs left, don't touch anything. If there's more than 3, take as many as you want until there's only 3. You have to leave enough for the species to continue, or your full belly today means your starvation tomorrow.
and yes, you found the tree, and the nest is still up there.
Now, she might have been. I don't know how much stock to take in what she said after she fell, but did she say she saw birds with these nests? Are we sure it's birds that these come from? I'm asking TC.
Okay, I was gonna say, was that in character or out of character?
Tree snakes.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. Could be kind of the things that we found earlier. Could be something else. But what do you do? What makes you happy, Owen?
Happy? Like before this place?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Crap, I haven't had time for introspection in a while. You're really springing this on me. Well, I mean, cooking makes me happy when it's not just a job.
Great. So, how would you feel about somebody cooking your famous favorite dish and then just putting your name on it? How does that feel?
I'd be very confused as to the purpose of that, and I guess frustrated with why is this happening?
Yeah. So we can agree. Generally frowned upon to fight someone else's battles. Yeah.
I'm not following.
Look, this tree, whatever the fuck's up there, that's not for us. That's not a battle we get to fight. That's on the kid. It beat the kid. The kid deserves a rematch. We can't touch it.
But I want the eggs.
Yeah, well, I got an egg, and we'll eat this one, and we'll see if we have the same night as we had last time.
She claimed vengeance on the tree, though. Can I not just climb the tree and then let her come and take her vengeance?
You can look, but don't touch it. It's not our battle. Now, you can do whatever you want, and I'll help you, because I'm invested in each of our survival. But keep in mind, you've seen me set a bone. And there's nice ways to do it, and there's unpleasant ways to do it.
Jay over there with the this is a Wendy's expression.
This feels like a very. You know what? Fine. This feels. When I'll say that there's easy ways to have these. There's nice ways to have these discussions as well.
You know what?
Say that.
You're probably right. That's on me. I'm sorry. I've been asleep for a little while.
That's fine.
I appreciate the feedback.
Not that you have anything to worry about from me, but I will say in the future, if you're leaning on the side of direct and not shitty, but you don't know me that well, versus indirect and I guess maybe just be cautious around who prepares your food.
That's solid advice. I appreciate it. On the note of food, could you leave the skins intact? We're losing a valuable leather resource every time we let that fish rot.
Yeah. Yeah, I can walk you through my prep in general too, if there's anything else you think would be useful.
Great.
From the other
I would
stuff.
appreciate that.
Yeah. I will. God, do we have something sharp with us or anything to mark? I just want to put like an S on this tree so we can find our way back to it, since it's Susie's mountain to climb.
I've got my I think I would probably still have Susie's knife, honestly.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so we can find it again when the blood trail that we followed back here has dried up.
That's fair.
Good idea.
Okay. So, by now it's probably 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Probably a little after afternoon, but not getting into the evening. You've got this egg, unless there's anything else that you wanted to do in the jungle before going back to camp. Okay.
Pretty good.
Nope.
You've got this egg now. What do you want to do with it?
I mean, my plan was to cook it
Okay.
after it's scanned and
Oh, okay. You want to scan it first. Okay.
does not come back as a psychedelic.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
you're able
even
to-
if it does.
Yeah. Yeah, you're able to scan it, and it is edible. It's Can I offer you the snake egg in these troubled times? Yeah, so it is. The shell has the texture of a snake egg. It is rather leathery, but it's also quite heavy. And if you cut open the top, roughly the consistency of a chicken egg, but the yolk seems a lot denser and is a lot heavier. And just by nature of the shell is a little bit harder to break than, say, a chicken egg. And yeah, it scans as edible. Nothing hazardous about it. Mechanics-wise, it is the equivalent of an edible fish.
All right, this will at least be a change of. It's not gonna sustain everyone, but it'll be a nice mix flavor-wise. To if I catch it, if we shoot down any more bird fish.
Oh, also, I was going to mention, for seasonings and things like that, between Susie and Owen looking around, you find an equivalent to, like, mint flavor and probably something similar to rosemary and probably something akin to a truffle, actually, here and there.
Question for you, Raven. Sorry to interrupt. On our trips back and forth between the stream and on the walk to the mini sub and back, did we see any fish or crabs or any other kind of life from the ocean on the shore?
You have not.
Okay.
Well, actually, hold up. On the shore, do you mean like along the edge of the stream or down by the
Like down
the
on
ocean?
the beach. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. On the ocean, yeah.
Okay.
There's some. You've seen evidence of clams or clam-like animals,
Mhm.
and you probably would spot a fish or two here and there, swimming around. Maybe a couple that have unfortunately become beached somehow and have died or whatever.
Right.
With some insects swarming around it.
Okay. I'll let the other two finish, but I have an idea.
Okay. A quick question for the group too. Did anybody else look at the pictures or data or take an interest in what Susie had said about the pond?
If anyone explained to me how the scanners work, I would have been interested to see what the chemical readouts were on the water.
Okay. I'm assuming by this point someone would have shown you the scanner purely just as a, if you end up being the one with this is how it works.
Yeah. This is not a gun.
Yeah. And,
It's an old model is what it is.
Yeah, it comes, you're able to look at the past data, and it was H2O plus a lot of minerals or similar minerals that you would expect to find in a natural water source, as well as an unknown mineral. Of course, all of these in trace amounts, and significant lack of organic matter. No real plant matter or any kind of animal material.
Huh. Interesting. Well, there's not much I can do without breaking off from the group. So I'm gonna stay here, kind of walk a little bit over to the edge, kind of on the outskirts of stuff, and I'm gonna start trying to put together a latrine.
Smart. Okay. This is one of those deals where I will just let you do the equivalent of taking 20 on it or whatever. So you just take some time and you can do it without issue.
Yeah. I do want to set it up though so that the waste can be removed, like some kind of just cylindrical something in there.
Perhaps one of the tankards.
Yeah, one of the tankards. That would be great. Yeah. I'll take that suggestion and run with it. Yeah.
You're
Yeah, you can
get
hook
to be
up.
the one who tells Zek and Orlax, Jay.
Oh,
It's
Oh
fine.
my
You love
God.
it. It's multi-purpose.
It's that's fair. So yeah, you can use one of those and rig up like some vines or branches or whatever to essentially make a pail out of it that you can pull out of the latrine.
yeah. Not gonna be pretty work, but it's gonna be something. And I guess I'll start. If there's any time left after that, I'm just gonna try to get long grasses, just some kind of fibrous material, and just start pulling them up and leaving them in clumps.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that too.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else that any of you want to do before night?
Yes. Tamsin, hoping that Susie is a little less delirious as the day has gone on. Once the water's done, she's going to be sitting down with her and kind of trying to figure out how to, Susie can teach her how to build something to catch fish with. Something they can then leave overnight or, leave out during the day. The things I'm thinking out of character are the fish traps that are cones, because we can use the tankards in that way, or just a net, like a drag net that we can.
The the nets that are cones are actually going to do better with the woven grass and branches than the tankers will.
Okay. But yeah, she's basically just kind of picking Susie's brain since be able to do that.
Susie is like, when you're in so much pain that you start like sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Susie.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So
She's determined not to let anybody see that she's in pain, though,
Of course.
so
because Susie is no longer delirious.
Tamsin's gonna take some of the extra cloth from like her jumpsuit. She's gonna just take the sleeves off, and start just mop the sweat off of her brow and arms so she doesn't get a chill in the night while they're
Okay.
talking.
Susie's kind of like, what? Who are you, and what have you done with Tamsin?
Kid, the last thing I need for you to have is a fever or like freezing in the middle of the night. Just tell me about the fish.
With,
what about my fish?
No, tell me how we can catch fish on the shore. I saw them when we were down there. TC and I went and got the sub and we beached it.
Oh, could do net catching, spear, weight traps, cone traps.
Susie,
you
pretend
could
I don't know
also-
how to fish.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And Tamsin like takes out her thing to like take notes on.
Yeah. Susie's taking a deep breath, and she's just like, "Can you get me something to write on so I can show you how some of this is done?"
She just hands Susie the tablet.
Okay. Susie's gonna roll some naturalist rolls.
Oh, you don't need to. It's okay.
Because
Susie's
I have
familiar.
that bonus of profession, spearfishing.
Oh
Yeah, but Susie is proficient enough at this that explaining this will not require any rolls.
So
and
she
Tamsin,
both explains cone traps and probably pool traps, which are basically you carve the shape of the trap into
Right.
pools into the sand,
Mhm.
and the fish will often just swim into it and then just need to relieve it.
Right.
yeah. So Tamsin, for the next 24 hours or so, any
Mhm.
naturalist rolls that you make towards fishing or making traps, you'll get advantage on.
Cool.
And if there's nothing else that you all want to do during the day, we'll go ahead and move on to the nighttime. As it starts to get darker, that's when you start hearing those crickets and you start seeing them occasionally. They're not menacing in any way or anything like that, just you start to notice them and can probably figure out that they're nocturnal. And that's why you didn't see any during the day.
That's when Susie says, "Hey, it's the jackasses that made the night weird."
Nice. TC and Tamsin both, you can both make a gut feeling check if you would like to see if you think of something. I will give Tamsin a second chance on this one.
Also, question:
Sometimes
is there
fast.
enough time between Susie teaching me that and the night to actually go out and try fishing? Try my luck.
Given that Tamsin has like no experience with it, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Not for this day.
29 on the gut feeling though.
Okay, so TC, I'm gonna say you get a thought of like, hey, I should do something, and then like as soon as you have the thought, it just sort of fizzles. But Tamsin, you have that moment of like, that's what I was gonna look into. Something about the pond and the stones and the fact that there's not any plant matter, like all of that starts to kind of bug you. And you think maybe I should look into that a little bit more. Maybe there's a puzzle piece there that I'm missing.
Okay, something that may not have been noticed otherwise.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So she'll make herself a note and like set a reminder on the tablet essentially for the
Okay.
morning. And she'll be like, I'm gonna be going out to the pond in the morning, so whoever wants to come out in the morning, she'll look at Susie. Anyone that's not in excruciating amounts of pain and can actually walk.
I can walk.
You can't.
I'm just slow.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lyle
She's
just
not looking at
grabs-
Susie, but she's just like,
Lyle just grabs crackers, puts them in Susie's lap, just like he just play with the dog.
She's like, "Can somebody bring me some grass?" I'm gonna make some rope.
Sure.
Oh,
Are you gonna
God.
make a twine, or are you gonna make string or a cord?
What do we need?
I'd recommend a cord personally.
She starts working on cord, and that's what she does all day.
Okay.
She sits there one-handedly, like rolling it against her leg and like using her mouth.
All right. Well, in that case, we will fast forward a little bit. We'll go to a new day on our mechanic stuff. And then everybody feel free to eat as much fruit and as much purified water as you need to fill up your 12 of each. Ignore any sick rolls that pop up because the fruit's fine and this water is fine.
6.
You do have plenty of fruit today, but while it does grow fast and is plentiful, it is still a finite resource. So do keep that in mind.
2, 4.
And then
You said we did 12 of each, right?
Yeah, 12 points. So I think that's 6 fruit. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24 roughly. Total fruit. Yeah.
Just waiting until
so,
everyone's done, or I'll do mine.
Gotcha. And the night proceeds uneventfully. Nobody gets sick. You're not hull high or anything like that. You hear the crickets again.
Before we bed down, I'm gonna take the kind of spear thing that I have. I'm gonna rub some charcoal up and down its length and plant it like 6 in the water so that the water comes up about 6 inches on it. So
Okay.
tomorrow morning we'll know definitively if there was any change in
The shore, you mean?
in the
Yeah.
water level. Yeah.
Oh, on the shoreline. Gotcha. Yeah.
Good call.
Okay. Yeah. Good call there. So you're able to do that, and then over the course of the evening, you probably hear the sounds of those weird eel birds, the insects, and you hear something that sounds somewhat like an animal, but it's too far away. It's deeper in the island to really compare it to an animal that you're familiar with. But you do hear something that sounds like something other than an insect or a bird or something like that. And then the next day comes around. You're all well fed and hydrated. Susie, you're able to get back. I think we've been doing half of your hit points on a full night's sleep. So half of your max hit points back. You've still got the injuries, which will, of course, give you some issues, but your health comes back.
Why is my regular hit points down?
Mine are weird too.
Oh, it's percentage of HP.
Yeah.
Have we switched over to the next day yet?
Yeah, it's the next day.
Weird, because it didn't consume my water or food.
It might have been because you did it before we put the points in.
Yeah, I did New Day, which put you all at 0, and then you did the food. So going into the New Day, you've got full food until the evening.
Oh, unfortunately, it's got me as negative full food because I didn't do that before you refreshed it to a New Day.
Well, I refreshed it to a New Day, and then you all did all of your rolls.
Yes.
So you're currently showing as full food and full water.
I've got a 10% hit point reduction.
Yeah. You needed to
I
let
think
us
it's the
eat
other
the
way
food.
around.
You needed to do us to let it do it the other way around.
I think we start the day
Yeah.
with 0 food and water, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I think. I'm not sure though.
with the automated thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well then let's do that. So everybody's full now. We'll do
Mhm.
new day.
There you go.
Did your hit
Yeah.
points go back up?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she's back at 40 HP.
She's got 40 HP.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Fucking
she's
kid.
your tank.
God.
I did. I'm pretty sure I took tank for her. No, it's not tank. I was athletics and outdoorsy and learned.
Yeah. All right. So it's the next day. You probably, not mechanic speaking, but flavor wise, you probably eat some fruit or something like that, and get going. The pole that you put in the shoreline, maybe an inch, just from water lapping up on the shore, but otherwise it hasn't moved. So you're able to confirm that there was no tide coming in or out on this island. Tamsin, you wanted to go check out the pond.
Yeah. She's also still mulling over the fact that there's no tide, because this planet does have a moon, correct?
Yes, you experienced tidal effects at the other island.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of mulling in the back of her head. But yeah, she'll get ready to set out to the pond and collect stuff kind of there and on the way back. But she'll ask who wants to come with.
I'm happy to come.
Okay.
Lyle volunteers to stay with Susie.
Okay.
What about Owen?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Does Tamsin have any company for the pond?
Yeah, TC's
TC.
coming with it.
Okay.
You're welcome
Well,
to come with as
there's
well.
an odd number of us, and
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to go off on my own.
Yeah.
So I will
Tamsin
come
will,
with.
I was gonna say Tamsin will look at Owen and kind of be like, "You can." She's gonna like pull Owen close. She's like, "Listen, I'm mostly just upset that we let the 15-year-old with a knife go off on her own. I trust you not to like kill yourself if you go off by yourself. Just keep in contact if you don't want to come to the pond."
I'll tag along that way, see if
Okay.
I see anything else worth cooking
Yeah,
in that
for sure.
direction.
For sure. So she'll look at Lyle and Susie and be like, "Don't just." And then she'll head off.
All right. Okay. And you're able to make your way to the pond without incident. It's the same as it has been.
So can you describe it again, just like quickly?
Sure.
Because I'm-
So it is. You have to go uphill a little bit, and basically that just explains why there's a stream coming down from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, the best way to describe it is almost like a crater. So the edges sort of come up to a point,
Mhm.
and it's not perfectly symmetrically round, but it's pretty close. And then once you get to the edge, it gently slopes down into the pond itself, with the deepest part being about 6 feet deep. And the bottom, it's perfectly clear. You can see the bottom, and it's covered mostly with these roughly rectangular, roughly 2 feet by 4 feet slabs of this porous rock.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to tell that it's porous from above. But Susie did say that it was porous when you got up close to it. And then surrounding the pond, almost in like a semicircle, are these fruit trees. And again, they're also not perfectly symmetrical in a semicircle around it, but it
Mhm.
looks like at one point maybe they were planted in a pattern,
Okay.
and maybe some others just grew up around that.
Yeah, Tamsin's gonna spend some time investigating all of that, because obviously, she believes that's not a crater impact.
Yeah, and it's very clearly not. It's just that
Mhm.
shape.
But she's also, because Susie was saying it was salty, right?
Yeah. Susie said that the rock tasted salty.
So Tamsin's going to take some scrapings from the rock, both underwater and above. And then she's also going to see if there's a way, like where it comes out, she's going to see if there's anything there that's causing it to desalinate in some way.
Okay. The rock is pretty hard, and it's really difficult to get any kind of material off of it.
Okay.
But you are able to get a little bit, like a dust kind of a
Yeah, that's fine.
texture to it. And then there's nothing really. The little stream doesn't really have anything that would seem to filter it or desalinize it. It looks like it's just this particular stream is formed because there was a crack between, or a gap between two of those rocks, and it's just gradually eroded.
Gotcha. My other question is there any obvious way this pond is being fed?
There isn't any obvious way that it's being fed. So you would assume that it probably is rain or perhaps an underground spring.
Is there anything I could roll to see if I know which one it is?
Sure. You could do... let's see. If you wanted to theorize, you could do education and see which theory sounds like the most likely. If you want to investigate it, I'd say naturalist.
Even though naturalist is higher, I'm going to go with education because that's Tamsin's go.
That's fair.
She's much more for the theory. 21.
You would theorize that there could potentially be an underground spring where the water is coming up, and it's just getting sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It's just coming up around these rocks, so there's no obvious like flow of water.
Right, it's just seeping through.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
Or that it's fed by rainwater, or that it's fed by some sort of intermittent water source. That you have.
Right.
Perhaps there's
like an annular pond. Yeah.
something that gradually fills up and then spills down into this one every so often.
Okay. I mean, she'll look at TC and Owen to see if they have any thoughts on it.
With a 21, you're probably leaning towards spring.
Okay.
I'm gonna take try to find a small piece of that rock, the porous rock. I'm gonna keep that for an experiment later.
Okay.
Purposes.
I'll say that you're able to find one small, like, palm-sized piece of the rock, but that's the only piece you're able to find.
That's all I need.
Which might also be kind of odd in and of itself, that that's the only small piece that you're able to find. Is why I specifically mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
I will note that. Kind of try to figure out the situation a little bit better. What's the ground like a few meters away from the pond?
A little bit spongy, like well hydrated soil. So it's not like, if you step on it, it squishes, but it's definitely got plenty of moisture in the soil, and it's covered with a light, sort of a light. Words are hard. Carpet of grass.
Okay. I'm gonna take some of that grass because we might need that later, and I'm going to just with any particular stone that I find, not with the one that I found, not with the porous one, just with anything hard that I can find. I'm gonna just kind of start digging a little bit. I'm looking to get between 8 inches and a foot deep, and just see
Sure.
how the situation's going to change.
After about 6 inches, it's wet. You start to get more like water a little bit, and then if you get down, say like a foot, it'll have like a little puddle at the bottom of the hole.
I am going to taste that real quick and see if it tastes has the weird saltiness that the pond itself had.
Yeah. As you taste it, obviously, there's dirt taste to it, of course. But it tastes actually brackish, like actual salt, a little bit. Not like straight salt water, but a little more salty than fresh water.
Huh. That's I think y'all might hear that. Him just go, huh? That's interesting.
What's
this-
I think Tamsin wasn't watching you dig this hole, so she looks back like, what? What are you doing?
I think the stones act as a filter.
She's gonna look at Owen like, why does everyone need to eat everything?
You're all toddlers. You just keep putting
I
stuff in your
don't
mouth.
get it.
I've had a whole career of trying to convince people to put things in their mouth because of the taste, and this is to see it this easy is a bit disappointing.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
This rock doesn't look like the same material that all the weird alien shit's made out of, right?
It does not.
Okay. I guess just while we're at this source of interest or this point of interest, my onboard navigation system isn't pinging anything interest on my HUD, is it?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't think I've gotten any push notifications lately on that.
No, like you know where that cave is, like you got that one.
Oh, there's a cave.
The cave that
I might have
TC
missed-
came from.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you might not have been here when we talked about that. That's true. So yeah, there was a cave with some of the alien architecture, like an archway, and that's where TC came from. Also, like off camera, that's where Wilfred left from.
Yeah.
Um,
How?
So you do occasionally, get a little ping, so you know that that's there, but that's really the only like alien thing that you're seeing.
Okay. How deep was that cave you came out of?
So it was fairly deep. I had to follow a kind of a smaller crevice and then emptied out onto the stream.
Okay. But more than like a foot like this. So like the whole island isn't just like 1 foot separated from water, was my question.
I don't believe that to be the case, no. But while we're here and while the kid's not around, because they've got enough to worry about. Did y'all hear that last night?
Hear what?
Oh, the whatever that animal is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It I might have just kind of sidelined that in the old noggin, since it wasn't like we spent the last island we were on, we typically just heard like what sounded like some sort of old god creature crying from the deep. So like
Yeah.
an animal wasn't really phasing me, but I mean, might be,
It's probably good to know at least what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
to know that it's more
I-
than just the birds and the fish birds and the hallucinogenic
Birdfish.
bugs.
Yeah.
I don't think that ignorance is a luxury we can afford right now.
She's gonna look at Owen again like, this guy's really eloquent for a janitor. Like, I feel like he missed his calling.
Okay.
So what's your proposal?
I think we pick a spot and try to lure it and observe. I think it's a fool's mission to go out and try to hunt something that we don't know what it is. But if we can set up something to entice it and can watch it from a safe distance, I'd feel a lot more comfortable personally.
Owen breathes a sigh of relief that he let you speak first and did not jump right forward with his "let's go hunt it" plan.
Brandishing the stasis rifle like safari time.
Nuts. We haven't ventured too far into this island, right?
Mhm.
We've stayed mainly on the periphery.
Oh yeah, you've barely scratched the surface of this island, by the way.
What's topographically? Is it pretty flat, or do we see like spaces with elevation too?
No, there's some hills. Probably not quite as tall as the one on the other island, but it's definitely not a flat island. Like there's some hills, some are bigger than others, and it's just all covered with thick vegetation. So it's a little hard to tell, like just how tall some of these things are, or how far back this island goes because of that. But it's big.
So we've only heard that thing at night so far, so we might not be able to lure it out during the day. And we don't know exactly what a lure for it would look like, or sound like, or smell, or taste like yet either. I'd be curious to see if we can't get to a spot with a bit of a height advantage here. I know we haven't gone that far inland yet, but the geometry of this, like the hole in the ground, the almost perfect circle of trees, that's weird, right?
It's not natural.
If we got high enough up, we might be able to spot more areas like this.
Yeah.
Like more areas that artificially.
While they're talking, Tamsin's gonna start looking around on the ground for tracks of any
Okay.
kind.
Also,
'Cause we
thank you,
haven't-
nerds with the dice, for coming in with that raid with a party of 4.
Thank you
Thanks so much.
We haven't looked for tracks like this whole time.
We've
that's
just been
fair.
clopping back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only see tracks. The only tracks that are there to see
Mhm.
are from the party. There's no tracks unaccounted for. Also, Tamsin.
Hmm.
Give me one more education roll.
I have concern. Can I add anything to it?
No.
16. Do you guys mind if I
16?
use a d6 on that? I have a feeling this is going to impact us.
Go for it.
Okay.
It's a bit of important information.
Yeah.
But I actually
Nope,
really hope
all
that
right.
you know.
It's not going to happen.
Oh no. I will, since you spent a d6, I will just give it to you, because
You can give me little pieces if you want, and I can try to work it out.
yeah, I'm not going to give you the whole answer. I will just say that the properties of the water, the theory that it's a spring and that the rocks work as some sort of filtration system, but the way that there's no plant matter in the water, things like that, I'll just say hydrogen peroxide comes to mind. Not that this is hydrogen peroxide, but just like
Yeah.
Tamsin might think like this seems similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like the effect seems similar.
Mm-hmm. Question for you, Alex. Did we manage to pry the scanner out of your hands before we left?
It's pretty easy to take things away from Susie right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'd say we took the scanner with us then.
Okay.
So yeah, with that in her mind, Tamsin's going to start scanning the things around the pond, but also the plant life around it, to see if there's
Okay.
anything kind of correlating between those.
Sure. And with all of that effort and extra time put into it, I'm just going to say that you eventually put the pieces together. And so basically what these rocks are doing, there's just tiny little bits of that mineral that comes off the rocks into the water,
Mhm.
and it effectively is working as if you were purifying something with hydrogen peroxide without the
Right.
toxic effects of consuming hydrogen peroxide.
Right, right.
So not only are these filtering out salt and things like that, but it's also purifying the water.
Right, getting any bacteria or otherwise. Damn, Susie did cut all that. I dub thee Bridger Island.
which means that this water is sterile, and that these rocks
Interesting.
have sterilization qualities.
And that it was designed this way.
Yes.
Well, that's lovely and awful at the same time. She'll share that with the other two, and
Okay.
she'll even send it back to Susie and Lyle.
Okay.
This cave isn't a natural formation. Someone built this. That's for Halo fans in the audience.
No shit!
Lyle will probably be like, hey, this is neat. This is like, I wouldn't need just drop a rock in my little tube. I wouldn't need Barbasol or whatever it's called. The thing that sterilizes.
Yeah. Barbicide, I believe, is the.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I
And
think Barbasol's
Susie just
shaving cream.
Yeah.
Susie just sends back, I told you it wasn't natural.
TC, can you show us where that cave was that you came out of?
No problem.
Because if we're gonna do this thing with the predator, that's fine. But like Owen said, it's probably not until nighttime anyway.
Yeah. I on that note though, while we're pondering it, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think the first animal that we eat, we need to try to leave that out to see what kind of predation source there is, because there's an animal on here, something bigger can show up to eat it. If we leave something that we know is edible out and nothing comes to eat it, that means that noise probably isn't going to be interested in us. Such thing as a scavenger not going for a wounded meal, but I've never heard of an animal that wouldn't take up a fresh piece of meat whenever it found it.
That makes sense. Would fish work?
Depends if it's used to hunting in water, but the smell of meat in general might be enough.
Okay.
I think our better bet would be one of the birds, but the fish should do it in a pinch. I'll lead them back to the cave. I'll explain this while I'm walking to the cave.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'm not gonna make any rolls up, and I might narrate a little bit more than I usually do here. But if you want to interject something or do something at any point, just stop me. So you are able to find the cave again, and yeah, without TC's help or Owen's little HUD, it would be very hard to find this. The hole's not very large, and while it does look like it might have been carved out at some point, there's a lot of vegetation growing up around it and everything, and yeah, it'd be easy to miss if you're not looking for it. And you're able to go in, and there's elevation here, so it is the cave sort of in a small hill, but it goes down once you get through that hole. And there's a little pathway that's pretty dark, but there's enough light coming through that you can find your footing and whatnot. You can even use like the scanner screen as like when you're trying to use your cell phone screen as a flashlight to find something. And once you get into this larger sort of cavern in there, it's damp. Definitely can tell that there's a lot of water around, but the floor itself isn't like specifically wet or anything like that. And yeah, there's a big, it looks like an upside down football goal, like an American football. So sort of an archway with a piece in the middle that goes straight up into the roof of the cave. And it's similar to the alien metal that you saw on the other island. But it does look a little bit different. The texture on it is a little bit different. I think Tamsin, you might be able to tell that it's older. Is your best bet for why it looks a little bit different. Like it was an older model or something like that. There are some lights in here that seem alien. So the room is lit, the cavern. But you don't notice like really much of in the way of like a control panel or anything like that. But there are some elevated spots on the metal of the archway around human torso height, which could potentially be some sort of control or interface. But that's all you see. With that in mind, do you investigate further? Do you touch it? Do you lick it if you want to? What do you do to interact here, if anything?
I mean, we have a scanner, so I think that's what Tams is doing.
Okay.
As Owen is reaching a finger for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to scan it. It's an alien structure. Is about all the scanner can really tell you about the finer details. It doesn't really say what it's for, if it's ceremonial, if it's technological, but there is a power source linked to it that it's able to detect.
Okay.
Which means it gives you like a low percentage chance. Like the disclaimer, like within this much margin for error. The hypothesis is it's some form of alien technology that has a function.
Right. Okay.
But not sure if that's a practical function or a ceremonial function or
Right. There's no specificity to it.
Correct.
Okay.
And then Owen, did
Thank
you say
you!
Thanks, Michael, for gifting that sub to Nerds with Dice. Nerds with Dice, you can choose to give 2 d6s to either the cast or myself, or you can give an advantage to a player on their next roll if you would like. Just let us know in chat. Owen, you said you were going to touch it?
Not like out of nowhere. I'm visibly doing this in front of my companions here in case they think it's a bad idea and want to stop me. But
Okay.
yes, I'm going to touch the thing and see if it responds.
Tams is fine with it because she knows you're imbued with the alien's gift, but she is keeping her eye on you.
I think TC just assumes that you're not that dumb, and is going to, instead of babysitting, is going to be looking at the ground for ostensibly any guano or any footprints that aren't the 3 of us that I might have missed when I came through earlier.
Yeah, do a naturalist roll to look for the footprints. There are no signs of wildlife in here. Almost as if maybe they don't like being around the structure, perhaps. Because there's no other real explanation as to why there wouldn't be wildlife in here when there is outside. And yeah, you do spot 1 extra set of footprints that are not yours or Tamsin or Owen. That walked
I'll call him.
to the archway.
I'll call
They're
him
old.
over.
Footprints.
Okay. Call him over and go, do y'all recognize these?
Well, they look like footprints. Are they human?
Yeah, they're human. They're the standard outfits that everybody's wearing, like that type of tread.
Okay.
But they're not the right size for any of the 3 of you.
Tams is gonna look at Owen with kind of an accusing look, like, recognize these, Owen?
I mean, no, I don't have people's footprints memorized, but I assume this is where Wilfred went. It's got alien shit, and I'm pretty sure he specifically pointed out the direction he wanted to travel to us.
Yeah. Oh, also, Owen, did you touch just the structure, or did you touch those like elevated little parts that were sticking out?
I probably didn't start with the parts. I probably like grabbed the side of it, but then I feel like I would have like traced down along the side and probably wound up at a button.
Okay. What are you thinking about right now? What is Owen thinking about?
Well, mid line of questioning, I guess distancing myself from Wilfred.
Okay.
Like covering myself here.
There's a surge of power that goes through this archway, and you don't so much see it as you all just feel it. Kind of like when there's static electricity around that you can feel, or when there's a lightning strike that's just about to happen and you can kind of sense that. And then there's a bright flash of light. Owen, you disappear for a second, and then you reappear right where you started.
Huh. So I guess question, did it feel instantaneous? So did I notice anything?
Yeah, you feel like you were gone somewhere for about 1 second.
Huh.
TC, this bright
Ew.
flash looks very familiar. This is what you experienced when you got brought here.
Oh, yeah. So,
Don't like
from
that.
I would exercise a little bit of caution. I think this was some kind of transporter. I was over at the, what you call them, the fridge. I was over at the fridge, and then I was here. So I would exercise a little bit of caution. Sorry, that's on me for not mentioning that earlier.
Tamsin has got the dirtiest stink eye on the both of them right now.
No, that feels weird. I wouldn't recommend it.
Did you see anything when you went through? Were
I
you
mean,
anywhere?
I felt like I wasn't here, but it wasn't long enough to get a glimpse of anything. I think, right, Raven?
Yeah, it was just a bright flash.
Although it's... So you were at the you said you were at the fridge?
I was by the fridge. Yeah. I investigated around a little bit, to try to understand what the hell situation I'd been thrust into.
No, I understand that. There's just there's not an upside down goalpost or alien bullshit at the fridge. So you didn't have anything to activate there. So is this like a teleporter or like a revolving door where like Wilfred went in one side and you kind of circled back in the other side and wound up here?
I couldn't hazard a guess.
So he would have been the one that had to have turned this shit on, I assume.
We can only hope.
Well, or I guess that, or it's been used twice.
So I hate to ask about this. This seems to be a little bit of a sore subject, given the way that it's been addressed. Is that Wilfred Schlick by any chance?
Weirdly enough, I don't think we've really. Yeah, I don't.
His cryopod was open.
I mean, then yeah.
Yeah, that would be him. Like there's only been one Wilfred while we've been here, so it's safe to assume.
That's good to know.
Tim's is gonna lead into TC like.
Well, I'm sure that's nothing.
No, that's not nothing. I'm not. No, don't fuck around with that. What do you know?
He and I have interacted in the past. He's a little bit of a litter bug.
What? Like he didn't throw his cans away? What's your beef?
He's affiliated with people who are not a fan of me.
And why would that be, TC?
I'm a man of beliefs, and beliefs require action. And if you are wondering, does the name Titan Creek mean anything to you?
It means literally nothing to me.
Well, there was a small kerfuffle that happened over um, some hardware that was illegally being installed and was going to disrupt the environment to a
I didn't think I could be more pissed off on this fucking island, but you've done it.
yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
Cut off all the flowery bullshit and just give it to us straight. What did you do, and why does Wilfred not like you?
I blew up an oil pipeline.
Oh, well, you made it sound like you did something terrible.
Yeah, no, exactly. Um, yeah,
So
I'm in labor on the ship. This was
What, like indentured?
yeah. I took an agreement to leave to try to help settle wherever we were going and work as passage during the ship for
Like a penal colonist.
yeah, pretty much exactly like that. Yeah.
Well, shit. Why didn't you just say so?
When the word terrorism gets thrown out, people tend to wince.
Yeah, well, when the person that you're trying to, live with sabotages the sub you're in and has alien bits in them, it kind of pales in comparison.
Well, that's fair. So,
I mean, wait. And so, was Wilfred some sort of oil baron?
no, the organization that he was with was well connected and unfortunately oriented.
So wait, his whole like religion thing was involved in this?
At least someone involved was benefiting somehow. I don't know. I didn't see a reason for the church to personally take a stance on my actions, but they saw fit to. And that little shit is involved with them.
Welcome to the crew.
All right. I do prefer TC to Titan Creek, though. And that's a little bit of a sensationalist headline.
We'll call you whatever you want it to be called. I'm not fussy. Owen, how do you feel on this?
No objections.
Great. Any other questions while we're on my resume?
How do you feel about alien prisoners? That you don't know what they did.
I feel like that's the crucial piece of information.
And she does like a half little smirk at Owen. Like,
I'm not arguing with that.
I know. I'm sorry. It's been, with everything that's happened in the last few days, I'm a bit on edge. But with this, I mean, if Wilfred wanted to come back, knowing him, he'd find a way. But I mean, if you couldn't go through it, Owen, and you're both kind of the same level, so to say.
I mean, I don't know if I can't go through it so much as I didn't know what it was when I touched it.
Okay, now that you do know what it is, do you think it'll work?
I mean, do we want me to just randomly turn on this bullshit and see?
Do we have anything to gain from doing this right now?
I mean, it could be useful if I can control it.
It's true, but it could also
Depending
give
on what it
Wilfred
is.
It's going to be useful tonight, after dark. I'm not making judgments. I'm just asking a question.
I don't see it being useful right now.
If there's a risk, let's tackle it when the sun's up. That sun, when there's light.
I mean, it is daytime.
I thought it was tonight. Oh shit, my bad.
No, we're still on the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still morning.
Oh well, shit. I figured we'd been out there doing like academic research on like samples of rocks and shit for 6 hours by this point.
Well, I don't know. It might be like late morning.
I was gonna say it's probably
maybe
like
noon.
afternoon. Yeah. my figure.
Looking around this little arch, there's no like scratched in instruction manual that I just ignored up to this point, I assume.
No, Owen, you might feel like some of these symbols, these raised parts, are words, but you can't really read it, and your little HUD isn't really translating it.
Hmm.
But it does look similar to some of the symbols that you've seen before that your alien friends have translated for you.
I wonder why I don't have bars here. They don't seem to be communicating anything. Oh,
Are you saying that out loud?
yeah, sure.
Okay, Tamsin will be like, what do you mean bars?
Well, like the bullshit where like Wilfred gets like fucking X-ray vision and can see everything of significance for like miles away or whatever. I'm not getting any of that.
Well, that's a lot of information I didn't think would terrify me as much as it does.
I might be exaggerating, but like
No,
he always
it
knew where everything. Like he was just.
it made sense.
We landed on the island, and he was just like, "We should go directly to here."
Yeah, no, he knew way too much right off the bat.
Is there somewhere on this island we want to be? Do we
Probably-
want high? Do we want to get to high ground without the hike? Maybe this could bring us there.
It could, or it could take us into the center. Wilfred was saying there's some kind of structure in this island.
Oh, I just assumed it was this.
It's hard to say without him being here.
Owen, can I get a gut feeling roll from you?
Sure.
Now that you've talked through some of this stuff, you might get. Would you like to use a d6?
Sure.
It's never a good question.
My gosh, the dice just don't like you right now.
I mean, my gut
Okay.
feeling is also garbage.
Yeah. Okay. So I can give you some information. I just can't give you as much as I had planned to. So you get the feeling that maybe thought or desire has something to do with how this works.
Yeah.
I want to be home.
Yeah. I mean, that feels like a stretch, but I think
Like maybe for Owen it doesn't come in exactly those words, but maybe Owen's suddenly reminded of like the Wizard of Oz and clicking your heels 3 times,
yeah.
and that helps Owen put 2 and 2 together.
And that's what I was
little bit.
thinking too, in terms of if there was anywhere we wanted to be and
Yeah.
kind of point ourselves that way. But like somewhere close where like if this works, we can actually like still be where we need to. Okay, everybody gather around. I'm gonna try the thing.
Should we alert the others as to what we're doing
Tamsin's-
before we do it?
Yeah, Thames is going to send out kind of the shorthand of everything that they've talked about in the
Sure.
last like 30 minutes.
It's just a will. Like if we die,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if we all die.
BRB testing a teleporter.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, hey, found out that TC is a badass. Yada yada, teleporter business. She'll give more actual detail, but that's the gist of it.
So, blah blah blah, teleporter business, etc. etc.
Yeah, no. Don't get
That's
up.
great. Okay, what are you gonna try, Owen?
if there was like a hill or a higher elevation place and close to where that we could visualize from where we were at, I'm gonna picture that so that we can get the perspective without having to do the hike up.
Okay. So you're going to try to use this teleporter to go up on a hill.
I'm gonna hold the button and I'm going to picture in my mind that nearby hill.
Okay. Make a discipline roll for me.
Oh, God.
Do I have? Is that a thing I have? All right.
Questionable.
All right.
A 19.
Should we use a D6
Yeah,
for
please.
this?
Please do.
A 20.
Oh wait, I put it in wrong. I think
Oh,
there's a weird bracket there. It didn't actually roll.
oh, you're right. You're right.
Didn't matter.
So with a 20, yeah, you think about that hill pretty well. The some elevated position that you've seen.
It's so hard.
And yeah, the three of you, there's the electric feeling in the air again, and then the blinding flash of light. And you remember that slightly elevated position you were at when you were shooting at the eel bird things?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where the three of you end up.
Oh fuck.
Tamsin wants to freak out, but also wants to study what just happened.
Yeah.
So she looks like she's having a difficult
I think it's not just intention. I think we have to have been there before. Because I was here. This is the most elevated spot I've been on the island, I think.
But then how did TC get here if he'd never seen this?
Because I don't think TC turned it on. I think Wilfred turned it on and TC got caught in the whatever the fuck science of it.
Like he was the tide coming in and then TC just got washed back out with that?
Yeah. Or like I said, got caught in a it's like Wilfred opened a door, but it was a revolving door, and the door opened into TC and swung him on through to this side.
Like they swapped places.
Yeah, that's probably an easier analogy.
She's like, revolving doors haven't been used for fucking centuries. I don't know what you're on about.
Out of character meta knowledge. Yes, that is how the teleporter works. You have to have been there before.
Okay.
And B, yes, it's because Wilfred was teleporting to where TC was standing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was just a fluke.
That means that Wilfred has no real idea where the fuck TC is. Only that
Correct.
he's awake.
That's good to know, at least, Meta. So yeah, Tamsin's gonna take a picture from where they are now. And he's gonna say, we didn't die. That's it.
Awesome.
That's all she's gonna send.
And
Susie sends a thumbs up.
If I focus really hard right now on an upside down goalpost, I don't go back, right?
You could absolutely try, and you are correct. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
You can do a gut feeling check one more time, though, to see if you maybe have an inkling of something.
Did I prestige us? Are there just clones of us on the island now?
Oh my god, as if we needed anything else.
So is that a negative something?
Okay. I rolled a 16 on how bad is this nat 1, so it's not that bad. Yeah, Owen actually believes that.
There's
you're pretty
clones.
sure that you're all clones now.
Oh god.
I'm raving about some ancient movie called The Prestige.
Yeah.
That's
Tamsin actually
somehow I saw.
probably knows about it. But
Yeah, Owen's dead set, 100% convinced that you're clones.
okay, if you mention the word clones, Tamsin gets visibly excited. Like her grin goes ear to ear. And she's looking at the both of you like, do you realize what two of me could get done?
No.
Well, let me tell you, Jack.
So much math.
So much math. One of us could be doing the formulas while the other one is scanning the sky.
Oh my
That sounds very helpful.
And I actually think that's a good spot to to end the session on right there. Sorry for going over a bit, but
That's fine.
you got to exciting stuff. There's so much more exciting stuff to find. I'm excited.
We're all too dumb to find it.
Oh my god, the dice were not helping.
What was the thing I wanted to do? Probably not the weird pond that like was saltwater but is turning into freshwater. Probably not that. That's probably fine. But 9 at best.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Anyways, so yeah, before we go on a raid, we're gonna let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, anything that they would like to plug or promote or talk about, and also our raid cry. There in chat, are we on a floating Brita filter? So yeah, we'll do reverse order them. So Jay, favorite part, where can we find you, and anything else you want to share?
Honestly, I think it was TC dropping the bomb that he, blew up an oil pipeline. And that was partly Tamsin being like, "Oh yeah, why didn't you say so? That's fine." But also me saying that. So, fuck capitalism, fuck oil. My whole province is based on it. I thought that was probably my favorite part, because it was so. It was, and I was watching Zan. I was like, Zan, I know you're beating around the bush on this. The fuck are you on about? I want to know. Yeah, like the whole session was great though. It was nice to see one of us actually get into danger without dying immediately. Because every time we've seen danger, it's like, oh, you're literally in a thing's mouth. That's the kind of danger you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one of the reasons why I was like, no, I'm not gonna have you die on an one just because you fell off a tree.
Yeah, like that's
You can
yeah,
survive this.
exactly. Yeah. But otherwise, where you can find me is on Saturday at 6 p.m. on the same channel for Animus Absentus, where some difficult conversations are going to be had, but everything's going to come out okay, and hopefully I don't cry again. And otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at AlienJays. If you are interested, there are still, how many days are there? 5 days left, and I still have about 4 slots open for Afterburner, which is a racing TTRPG that I made. So I'm playtesting that. You do not have to have had any experience with it, nor do you have to know me. Just give me a shout on Twitter.
I'm so stoked for that. It's gonna be great. All right. Next, let's hop over to Pat. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you, and anything else you want to share?
Oh, my favorite part might have just been us playing Emergency Room and actually like functioning as a cohesive unit for that moment somehow. We can't figure out anything else on this island, but somehow we're all trained emergency room staff when medicine comes up. Yeah, I enjoyed
Seriously, you guys like legit just saved her life.
Yeah.
Fair, she's
Life.
done it for us a bunch.
Don't know how. Crisis, got it covered.
And she was trying so hard to be good, and she was just like, I'm not gonna go very far. I'm gonna be really close to camp. It should be okay, right? I told Tamsin where I'm going.
Yeah. But yeah, you can catch me on, I'm Attactric on Twitter and Twitch. You can catch me tomorrow night on my Twitch channel, where Alex and me and several of our other friends are going to be playing in our Lancer campaign, the Spare Brigade, which is mechs and space. And I think we're starting in our mechs this episode. I think like mission infiltration happening. I'm definitely blowing some stuff up, I think, is the only part that we decided from our plan last week.
That's great.
Specifically, we are blowing up the sewer.
We're going in through the sewers and I'm gonna blow it all up.
Yeah, that I'm sure that won't backfire. All right. Next we'll hop on over. Well, actually, I'm just gonna say again, go follow Leopold the Just on Twitter. Leland, who normally plays Lyle. He's awesome, very cool person. go give him a follow, and he should be back playing Lyle not next week, but the week after, I believe. And then, yeah, now let's hop over to Zan. Favorite part, where can we find you, and anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I'm Zan. You can find me on Twitter at InsanityTTRPG, on my website, insanitygaming.com. I am a professional DM and content creator for a whole bunch of real cool games, and you can find me here or on the Black Feather Guild, here on the Coffee Nebula with Bosch Scripted pretty frequently. Yeah. Oh, favorite part. I am very excited to see how the party adapts to having someone basically laid up, especially given how dramatic Susie's personality is. I'm very excited to see the conflict that's going to come from that. I'm real stoked about it, and I appreciated Owen's attempt at social advice. Probably shouldn't threaten people.
That was that was Owen's only attempt to try and act tough back.
I did enjoy that too. I was like, these two are either going to be best friends or like the biggest rivals. I'm not sure which yet.
Yes.
That was really cool. Yes.
The third option is now kiss.
That is also an option, I suppose. Hey, thanks so much for that donation, Quiet Deviant. Let me pull it up on my phone so I see what actually that was. Because it just says something happened on Coffee, not what actually happened. There it is. And while I'm doing that, words. Wow. Train of thought just went full speed away from me. Alex, favorite part, where can we find you? Anything else you want to share? I think you're muted.
Yes, I was, and I was trying not to lose track of my stitches,
No worries.
which is difficult when you got me in the middle of a row. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist and occasional fiber artist. I just finished this one this last week. Isn't it adorable? It's a little ankylo pincushion. Yes. You can find me around on Black Feather Guild and over on Patrick's channel tomorrow night, where I will be playing Sean Blake, who is very different from Susie. Susie is as high chaos as Sean is low chaos. So far, the rest of Sean's party has been high chaos. Oh, it's been so weird being the one who's like, no, we're supposed to do the reasonable thing. Yeah, and you can find me on Can Chaos Art on Twitter and Twitch, as where mostly you'll find my art. I do commissions. Just give me a DM if you're interested. I do a variety of things, but the only thing I don't tend to draw is porn.
It's good to know. All right. That just leaves me. Also,
sorry, I forgot my favorite part.
Oh yeah. What was
My
your
favorite fucking part was actually, it was Tamsin actually being worried about Susie, and Susie not and Susie knowing better than to ask for. No, she was legit scared for her when she saw the bloody handprint, like the hand trying to like get the blood off so they could find her.
All I'm saying is don't misconstrue it as maternal feelings.
Oh no, it's not
Okay.
maternal at all. Oh God, no.
It's very much, I need everyone on this fucking island not to die.
Yeah, no, it's very much defaulted to, congratulations, Susie is imprinting on you. Susie recognizes this is not maternal imprinting.
All right. And Quiet Deviant donated $10 and turned that into all D6s for the cast. So you are back up to 9.
Thank you so much.
which is impressive. Y'all went through a lot of D6s today.
And we didn't really get much for them.
I know, I felt so bad. I was like, how can I give you
That's how it
something because you
rolls.
spent a D6?
That's how it rolls sometimes.
Excuse me. So
I mean,
yeah, like I said,
really, the important thing is that Leopold didn't get to use them. That's the important thing. We didn't let Leland use any.
I love that we were
That
able-
really means we all won.
I love that we were able to stick Lyle with so much of the blame for tonight without Leyland being here.
I know, I feel so bad. He's gonna come back like, wait, what did I do?
It's like, you didn't watch Susie. It's like, what do you mean didn't watch Susie? Points to Susie, who still has holes.
why don't we want Leland to use D6s? Where did that come from?
I was just gonna let him have it. I didn't want to touch that. So, like, I'm not here for drama,
I mean,
constructed
you
or
can tell
otherwise.
me later, but I think it's funny. I just don't know why. But yeah, my favorite part, all of it was really good. I really enjoyed, like, it was slightly frustrating because of the dice, but I really enjoyed all of you being like around the pond and knowing that there's something going on there, and then watching you all trying to figure out the mystery, and then sometimes having to be like, check this part out. Because I had a lot of fun designing that and coming up with the concept and everything. I think it's just a really cool piece of the island. And so yeah, everything about the pond I think was my favorite part, and just watching you all try to figure it out, both in character and out of character. And of course the comment of, are we on a floating Brita filter? That came out of that was great. Yeah, it was also being able to, injure a character without them immediately dying. I agree. That's one nice thing about you all being on this jungle island is it's not, you can survive a bad fall off a tree with broken bones and, things like that. You can't really survive being...
You're just
a bit-
glad that Susie
bit in
has an
half.
enormous amount of HP.
That too. But yeah, you can't really survive, a Kraken Viper biting you in half, that's just, So it's nice that as horrible as that sounded, like, that the nat 1s aren't immediately fatal. Ugh. Immediately fatal right now. So that was also nice. Where you can find me next, I'll be playing words are hard. Niklas Sebastian Adama, or Klaus, tomorrow on Exodus. Sort of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation, where Mr. Hyde is currently the dominant personality right now for quite a while. The character is legit a villain, just not the villain, which makes the party dynamic really fun and interesting. And it's based on BioShock. So if you're a fan of BioShock, you'll probably enjoy the show. It's GM'd by Vanessa, who does a fantastic job, and she actually I think, can't remember if it's her first time GMing or first time GMing on stream, but she actually made the system for it. So either way, it's impressive, and it's pretty fun. So definitely check that out. And then other things to plug are just sponsors, which I'll throw in chat again. Grinding Coffee Company, Fundamental RPG, which is the system this game is built on, and Intrepid, which is IRL adventuring gear, which is pretty cool stuff. You can go to coffee.com/raven/shop for pre-orders of Fundamental RPG 2nd edition, again, which is the system that this game is built on, as well as Animus Absentis, if you're familiar with that show. Last season we also had Hunters of Calamity 2. It was also done with Fundamental RPG 2nd edition. So pre-orders are available at a discount until the end of February, which is when that'll come out. And you can do PDF or paperback. Paperback prices include shipping, so you don't have to worry about paying extra for that later. And that's everything for that. We've got our raid cry. Are we on a floating Brita filter? And we're going to go raid We Are Nerdsmith. Let me just make sure that they're still streaming. Yes. It says starting soon. But they were actually on screen earlier.
Could be there's
So
a
I'm just
break.
gonna. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go give them a raid and definitely give them a follow if you're not doing so already. It's a fantastic group over there. I've done some work with them in the past, and they do good stuff over there. Definitely check it out. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.